flurry of activity, and then now I am. What the hell is that noise? Get off the phone, Ching Chang Flippin' Chong.
Yeah, and I can barely hear you. You sound like you're far away.
Holy shnikes. That was a big Ching Chang Chongy on that one. Are you okay?
Dude, there's a society we didn't talk about yesterday.
Which is what?
Apparently the inner circle of the Tulis are called the Viril.
Yes, because I was looking up different things, and then this smokestack picture came up. This German girl smokestack ideal girl who looks like some German.
What did you? Oh, you mean it's kind of like it's almost like
the girl with blonde hair and blue eyes.
Picture.
Yeah. The occult secrets of Vril, and then it's like the goddess energy and human potential, whatever. And there's like this smokestack girl.
It's a cartoon. It's not like a photograph.
It's a draw, not a cartoon, but it's like a painting of a girl, Fräulein Maria Orsic. It's like a real person apparently. Marija Orsic. Fräulein Maria Orsic. It's a real person.
Fräulein. Hello, Fräulein Orsic.
The goddess of the devil, Hitler's medium, occult secrets, Nazi super science. It's a historical novel about a turbulent life of one of the most obscure and fascinating women of the Third Reich, a strikingly beautiful medium named Maria Orsic, pictured in a cover design. Oh, so she might be like a real person. Viennese born. Yeah, it says the Tool Society had a subdivision for ladies, the Vril. This group of young women actively practicing alternative sciences was led by Viennese-born Maria Orsic, a remarkably beautiful woman with lush long hair. As was a trademark of the Ladies of Vril, she was instrumental in instigating research into alternative science, actively pursued by the Nazis, which led to Germany's unrivaled superiority in nuclear and space research.
She probably told Hitler, she goes, I am beautiful, am I not?
Yes.
He goes, yes, Fräulein, yes.
Huh.
He goes, why, we should all be as beautiful as me.
Yeah.
Do you know why we are not? Tell me, mein Fräulein, tell me.
Huh.
The Jews.
Huh. With their noses.
She's probably the real Hitler.
She's probably what?
She's probably the real Hitler.
Yeah, listen, it says, was the stunning medium Maria Orsic a scheming adventuress or a sensitive woman burdened with extraordinary powers and imagination who found herself involuntarily in the center of the power play of Nazi Party, the SS, cutting-edge science, and international spy rings? How does it happen that talented idealists can lead a nation into insanity? These and other challenging questions are addressed in the following Maria's tumultuous career in this novel, covering a span of nearly 40 of the most explosive years in world history, including 2 world wars, culminating in the birth of a new era of super weapons and superpowers.
So how did he describe them? A group of idealists?
No, he just said I guess he described her as an ideal, apparently some idealist. But is this like a real person, or is it like some sort of persona, or like a
could be a spirit, a demon?
Famous medium who later became the leader of the Vril Society. It's very
maybe that was their patron goddess,
yeah.
Lowercase g.
Yeah, kind of weird.
No, they definitely had all this kind of stuff. They had, necromancers, psychics, channelers, all this kind of,
Yeah.
There's no question. I mean, that stuff is not even rumors. That's absolutely confirmed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What's not confirmed is there's this a myth about the Nazi bell. Like they were doing experiments on UFOs.
Yeah.
They called they called it the Die Glock, the bell, or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Interesting.
Not related to the Nazi UFO,
yeah.
UFO division.
Yeah.
That apparently is hiding in Antarctica, waiting to pounce on us.
Interesting. Huh. Well, speaking of pouncing, you wanted to talk about the whole thing of how is it that secular Jews don't understand.
They don't understand anti-Semitism. You said that yesterday. You
Yeah,
said
yeah.
You said that secular Jews, they think it's some kind of thing that you can figure out.
Yeah, that
they
you
don't
can.
understand. They're coming from a spiritual tradition.
For sure, they're coming either from a spiritual tradition, or they're at the very least coming, from like a perspective of, that we're like Christ killers, just on a functional level in that respect. Or yeah, usually it's like a spiritual tradition. There's
No, there's different.
I just want to quickly.
There's different groups.
Yeah, there's like there's the ones that say, oh, they call us synagogue of Satan, that kind of stuff.
No, there's guys who are in charge, and who spread, and they know exactly what they're doing, and then they spread propaganda, right? And they say Christ killer, whatever the synagogue of Satan, whatever the hell they say, to rile up the people who are not in the know, just to kind of, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
That's how pogroms would start. Usually, it would be the town local preacher would come and rile up, saying they killed Christ, and you're tolerating that village is right there, a village full of evil pagans, and God is punishing us because you didn't kill them. And that's who That's who we're talking about. We're talking about those guys.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So how, I mean, like, where does this come from? I mean, like, how come
Jews don't understand?
Yeah, like, Jews, it just, like, I told you the story, like, I went to this one event, this was a few years ago in Phoenix, and this lady comes up to me, and anywhere outside of New York, you still have, the Jewish federations in North America are more or less normal. They're not completely full of leftists. So she comes up to me, she's like, oh, can you sign this petition to, fighting anti-Semitism, this and that? And I tell her straight up, I'm like, you realize that it's Esav Sonei Yaakov, right? You can't fight. You can fight anti-Semites physically, but you can't fight the sentiment. She's like, oh, I'm not religious, whatever. I'm like, I know you're not religious, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like it's like that saying that it doesn't matter if you wanna go to war with someone. They're going to war with you. On you.
Yeah, and there's a reason they're going to war with you, and you if you don't understand your enemy's ratzon, their motives, then you cannot by definition fight them. And so I realized that
they're perpetual line steppers. You got to turn their legs into the queen.
Yeah. So I realized from that I was just kind of like, it's just an uphill battle, just to convince a lot of people, even people who are not necessarily like atheists, just to for them to see what's really the deal. And I realized, since then, this is like 2015, and I'm watching us, all these organizations, Stop Antisemitism, this guy, even a religious guy, what's his name, Dov Hikind, the guy in New York, he's like, we're having a meeting, we're having a march, we're going to Brooklyn Bridge, we're going here, we're going there.
And he's just doing his political crap.
Yeah, and it's just like, no, even if it comes from a good place, like, it solves nothing. It solves absolutely nothing. Maybe you'll get, and even then you won't get anti-Semites to not commit attacks, maybe, but not really. But you're not going to solve the issue. You're not going to solve the issue until Mashiach comes. Until Mashiach comes, and until these people, until we start acting, the entirety of the Jewish people, or most of us start acting as if we are, like your brother said, Hashem's PR agents. Because we're very bad PR agents for Hashem right now, and that's also part of the reason why people are so disconnected from Hashem in general, human beings on earth, and that's why they ran to take this crap, like lemmings off a cliff.
I wouldn't agree with my brother that we're his PR agents. Mm-hmm. I don't think so. We're not his.
Not his. I'm talking about the Jewish people are supposed to be.
Nobody wants to be God's PR. That's like an impossible job.
Not PR, but you know what I mean, like
representatives.
Yeah, stop. That's what he meant by PR, not like PR, active PR.
I know. I'm just saying that, I don't want, for the folks at home. Yeah. Trust me, we can't be PR for God. Like, he made it too hard.
It's like they say, God don't talk, when you talk to atheists, God can defend himself. You don't defend him. He can defend himself, so to speak.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So here's why. So we started this with a question. How come they don't understand that? So because we're talking about secular Jews, they don't understand.
Yeah.
They don't have a potential to understand until they understand spiritual realities.
Yeah.
Okay? And so why do so many of them not understand spiritual realities? Well, that was a tremendous effort exerted by the Sitra Achra through a couple of their agencies.
Yeah.
One of them is called the Erev Rav. Okay? The Erev Rav, what they do is that they work on the Jews, they pull Jews away from Torah and from mitzvahs and from spiritual stuff, and they create people who are strictly materialist.
Yeah.
Okay? And then, so that weakens the Jews. Okay? That takes away all their strength. Not only weakens them, it puts them it makes them like lambs, for the slaughter. Okay? Do you ever see a time machine?
The movie Time Machine?
There's one in the 60s, which most people saw, and like a more recent
one. I'm trying to see if I... 1 second. Yeah,
1960. So in the end, so whatever, he goes to different points in time. At the end of the movie, he goes to a point in time that's maybe 100,000 years into the future, where humanity has turned into two different species, kind of, right? You have this section of humanity went underground because of some kind of meteor, I don't know.
Yeah.
And some of the other ones stayed on top.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ones who went underground, they evolved differently, and they became the dominant race, and they would feed on the humans that were on this. Okay, so the humans that were, so this race that was underneath the earth, right, underground, they took care of humans like cattle. They lived like a very simple kind of village type of existence. Yeah. These other these evil whatever creatures, humans, provided them with food and everything that they needed. So
it's called the Morlocks. I'm looking at
the Morlocks. Yeah. Yes.
Scary looking bunch.
So
kind of look like Klaus Schwab when he's decomposing.
Yeah. Exactly. So basically, the Erev Rav, right? What they would do is that they would keep the Jews, right? The majority of their people, they would keep them calm and quiet and make them feel like there's nothing to fear, like there is no dangers, and keep them separated from the reality that's coming to them. Yeah. Okay, that's the job of the Erev Rav. That's why they're so nefarious. And then Amalek, or the Tuli, right? Yeah. They're the ones who these are the, what did you call them? The Morlocks.
Yeah, the Morlocks. Yeah.
These are the Morlocks who come and every now and then harvest.
Oh man, I'm watching the scene right now. They're running at. They're like these predator, they're from the movie Predator, kind of like us, and they have they're shooting the darts. Oh my god, huh? Holy crud! Yeah. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Okay, so this is a metaphor, but that's how it's a multi-pronged attack. Mm-hmm. That's why that person that you spoke to thinks that signing a petition is going to stop anti-Semitism. Mm-hmm. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we solved this.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to say about it. Nothing.
Yeah.
We've completely conquered this whole idea.
Yes. Huh.
No, but seriously though, I'm pretty sure that's the lion's share of the situation.
Yeah.
Kind of like the general. Okay, so how do you fight the Erev Rav? That's probably that's the primary. Yeah. That's our primary enemy.
Yeah. Well, I think the first way to fight anything is to shine a spotlight on it. Meaning, I have a friend who actually, it was actually funny. He lives in Beit El. I think I mentioned this guy. He's I would say he's settler kind of guy, whatever. And he had a debate, actually, in YU, was the setting. So it was basically him, Danny, this guy Danny Ayalon, he's kind of like a Hasbarist, kind of right-wing Israeli kind of Bibist kind of guy.
He's in the news all the time.
Not Danny Danon. You're thinking of Danny Danon. This guy Danny Ayalon, he is, this guy.
Oh, you're probably right.
Yeah, you're thinking, Danny Ayalon, I'll here. He was on Fox News a couple.
And joining me
Hold
now
on.
here in Israel is the former deputy foreign minister.
There.
Yes,
great to have you here in our capital, Jerusalem.
yes, and it is.
He's like this typical Hasbros guy. He's a nice guy, whatever. But like, so basically, my friend, him, and then Jeremy Ben-Ami from J Street. So what did my friend do to Jeremy Ben-Ami? He directly confronted him about he would give my friend would give his spiel. He would say here's why we cannot have the two-state solution, and he even would say, like, I meet with Arabs, some of my Palestinian quote-unquote friends, and even they're past this whole two-state solution nonsense, because a lot of the two-state solution stuff is predicated on, you have like checkpoints, and you have like politically motivated house demolitions, both on Palestinians after these terror attacks, which inflame them more, and on Jews, with all this Migron and all this kind of stuff. And he challenged the guy directly to his face, and the guy said, "No, I believe in two-state solution." This and that. But the point is to really, that's not going to make them change their behavior, but it will allow people to see what these people are about. It will allow people to see. It will, these people will talk. The Erev Rav will talk. They'll say what they really want, and the people will say, "Wow, this is like a normal person who doesn't know any better will say, my God, this is terrible." And then they'll say, we're not going to allow this Erev Rav to lead us anymore. Because who are these Erev Rav? These are the people that are putting themselves in the positions of leadership of the entire Jewish nation. These organizations, but leaders only are quote unquote leaders when people allow them to be that. When people donate to their nonsensical, their UJA and all this kind of stuff. Even UJA, it's like. They present themselves as just a general organization for all Jews, under which North American Jewish federations are under, but at the same time, a lot of that money goes to things like J Street. So, yeah.
I just had a vision as listening to everything that you were saying. I just had like a flash, right? It was like a movie that played so many details. Can I discuss this to you right now?
Please.
Can I?
Please.
Okay.
Describe it. Yeah.
Okay. So, not a prophecy, folks. Relax. I'm not David Icke. I'm not the son of God.
Lizard.
Okay? Right. Okay. So, I should make a correction, by the way, about David Icke.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't necessarily believe that I am definitely a lizard. It's just that a huge, maybe like 30% of Jews are lizards.
Yeah.
And he's not saying that everybody is,
yeah.
But he's also not going to go out of his way to tell the people he's riling up that I'm not a loser.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So weird.
So here's my vision.
Uh-huh.
We have to first, step number one, get this idea of Erev Rav into the public consciousness.
Yeah.
Everybody has to know, we just have to flood the world with the word Erev Rav, Erev Rav, Erev Rav, right?
Or mixed multitude. Can we do that? Can we say it in English?
No. I'll tell you why. I thought about that.
Okay.
Because when the information that they're going to be, if they type, let's say, mixed multitude into Google, right, they're not going to get the information about Erev Rav. They're going to get the mixed multitude, they're going to get like Christian Bible sites. Okay, that are not going to explain who the Erev Rav are. Yeah. Okay, folks, the Erev Rav, right? It translates as mixed multitude. Like Erev is a mixture, Rav is like a large group.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And this refers to the Egyptians who joined the children of Israel, Yaakov's children, and they wanted to leave Egypt, and they wanted to, become part of Israel, and many of them were present at Mount Sinai, and everybody who was present there became part of the nation of Israel, the Jewish nation.
Yeah.
That's what I was from. Okay, and so we have those elements in us, and spiritually, the way they manifest from generation to generation is small numbers of people, handfuls. Okay, but they always end up in positions of power. Okay, they seek it out. These are people who are naturally attracted to this. And then when they get into power, the decisions that they make tend to push the Jewish people away from having a relationship with God, from Torah observance, and from learning Torah. Okay, that's I'm not necessarily saying that they're always fully conscious that that's their goal, but somehow that's what happens. For many of them, that is their goal. Okay, so basically, what we need to do is somehow we have to first get this idea of, you know how like the internet's flooded with Khazars, right?
Yeah.
All right. And
Yes.
they have Khazars and Masons and Illuminati, and all of that is bullshit.
Yeah.
And if the world really wants to know what's going on, they need to know the term Erev Rav and the Tuli and the Amalek.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to shine the light. We have to pardon my. We have to unconfuse the language.
Yeah.
I know there's a word.
Unobfuscate or undemuddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. We have to give people the keywords, the search terms that they need to know, so that they could really understand what's going on. Because the whole world has been flooded, like the information areas have been flooded with things that will make you go in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Okay. So here are the key words: Erev Rav, Amalek, Tul, the Tuli, Tul. Okay, the Teutonic order, the order of the Teutons, the Viril, the Ananurbe.
Yeah.
This is who is really behind everything. These are the terms that, that's really what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So these are spiritual groups, all of them, spiritual entities. They're not loosely confederated. Mm-hmm. They're very organized. They know exactly who they are. They have a network. They have a history. They have a secret society. They have secret religious practices. They have secret knowledge, secret everything. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And remember, last time we were saying it's the weirdos that run history.
Yeah.
Okay? We were reading about the weirdest people yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. Okay?
Yeah.
Why did J. Edgar Hoover? He was a cross-dresser. He was a tranny. He got together with other trannies. Yeah. Herman Fatso Goering, one of the Nazis, right? He was also one of those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the world is run by weirdos. Yeah. Okay, so you have to understand this. You have to why are we saying that? You have to get accustomed to the weird.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't look away from the weird. You can't say, "Oh, that's not for me."
Yeah.
Those are the people who are trying to kill you. You've got to know what they're about, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's number one.
Yep.
We have to somehow figure out how to get the term Erev Rav specifically to the Jews, really for the world, but it's really the Jews should be aware of this phenomenon because they're the biggest targets of it. Yeah. They're really the only targets of the Erev Rav.
Yeah.
Okay. For the rest of the world, you got the Amalekites that are trying to take care of the rest of you. Okay, no, they're trying to kill us too, but they're not going to leave you behind. Yeah. Trust me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so these are terms that people need to seek out. They need to gather information. Amalek, Tuli, and Erev Rav. Okay. So let's say we accomplish that goal, right? So let's focus on the Jewish people for a second. Mm-hmm. Why do the Erev Rav find it so easy to get into positions of power? Because most people don't crave that. Yeah. Most people are normal, and they want somebody else to go and deal with that. Like, nobody's really interested in being a bureaucrat. Nobody's interested in having an administrative position on a high level. Yeah. It seems boring. It's dull. It's like, so you have there's a certain type of person that's attracted to that thing. Okay. Yeah. So when you see a person whose smile is too big in the job that they're in, you know that guy's probably an Erev Rav.
Yep.
Okay, here's who has to be in his place. The guy who doesn't want to be, the guy who is annoyed that he has to do this job because it's annoying, and he'd rather be watching football or learning Torah or going to the gym or whatever. Anything like that. Anything.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if you see look at these guys in Washington. Look at these these max headrooms.
Yeah.
They're all like that. That's where I got the idea for that meme.
Yeah.
Right? They're
funny.
all like that.
Yeah.
That smile, that comfort that they have in this position.
Yep.
Look at them. They're creatures.
Yep. Yep.
Okay? You're supposed to see a bunch of angry men.
People on
big
You're supposed to see people on a mission.
Yeah, angry men with big guts smoking cigarettes from stress.
Yeah.
Okay? You're not going to find ladies who just have their hair done.
Can I tell you something? There is a guy, he runs ZOA, and he doesn't, granted he's not fat, but he is a person he doesn't look like he's so smiley about his whole situation. His name is ZOA chairman.
Well, I'm not saying that's the only sign. I'm just saying that it's one of them. If you happen to see a guy who just looks like he got a massage and he's tanned and he got his nails done and his hair is just right and all this kind of stuff, okay, that guy has to go.
Morton Klein. He puts his stuff on the line. By the way, you know who got elected as a one of the leaders of ZOA? Trump's lawyer, David Schoen, the guy that stood up in front of America and basically defended Trump after the January 6th thing. The from guy.
I picture a guy named David Friedman.
No.
That's a different guy.
David Schoen. He's a lawyer. He's the guy that was making brachas he put his hand on his head when he would drink. At the you remember this guy? He defended Trump at the January 6th.
No, I'm glad this guy exists. I don't know.
Whatever. So he just became one of the heads of this thing. Morton Klein just appointed him or whatever. I don't know. I guess these people are doing something. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. Most of these guys are just like creatures or something. Bunch of creatures.
Yeah. So it's like we have to so once people understand who these they understand this term, they get curious about it, they look into it, there's information available, then they know it's in the consciousness now. Now it's harder for these guys to operate. Yeah. Erev Rav. Yeah. And Amalek, this is the same idea for everybody. So and then we got to be really careful first of all, everybody has to wake up and realize that if you let somebody else do this, you are attracting a psycho who can't wait to suck you dry and kill you. Yeah. That's essentially what ends up happening. Yeah. Okay, and they're just gonna push as far as you will allow them to. Okay, like it's just really up to you. When the hell are you gonna get up off your ass and talk to your neighbors, get together with your neighbors, at least on your block. Yeah. All right. Then get together with the neighbors on the next block. That's it. Turn the TV off. That's it, dude. That's it. Turn the TV off. Start talking to your neighbors, and find out what the hell's going on. Yeah. And try to find anybody who's a little too rich or happy. Yeah. In government. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, government is not supposed to be an attractive, an attractive position. It's supposed to attract people who have basically the best people in your neighborhood who care about everybody, right? And then they're not paid. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Like a good example of that, Thomas Jefferson. Yeah. Okay, he had an estate, he had a farm, he had a business. He was rich. Yeah. Okay. During his time in office, he went broke. He let all of that go. He had no way of. Yeah. He sacrificed.
The only person in modernity we know who not went broke, but who gave up the salary is Mr. Orange guy.
Yeah. He didn't because he didn't need it.
Mr. Orange guy.
Okay. Yeah. He has nothing to gain from going into. That's it's a similar idea. Yeah. Right. Yeah. he suffered. His business suffered greatly.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, he's not he's not on welfare.
No.
Because of it,
But he lost a good amount of money.
He lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? He lost half his clientele. Let's put it that way.
And when you look when you look conversely at like Shmo Mama and then Shmolosi, people on who took a salary and then somehow have bazillions of dollars from that. They must be market wizards. These people. You know what I'm saying?
Why does Maxine Waters have like 5 mansions? Can somebody explain that to me?
Because what happens is you get paid by these special interests, and then you get insider information on stocks. Nobody takes you to task. The SEC looks away.
No, that was a rhetorical question.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm saying like it's crazy. Like it's crazy. Even what's her name, AOC was saying like we should like ban AOC. She's like a real leftist. We should ban these people from, I don't know, access to certain or trading a certain amount of stocks or this or that. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, but if AOC, she's going to realize after a certain point that she's going to be shooting herself in the foot.
Of course.
Because who's going to pay that team of
course,
dental hygienists to keep her teeth?
Yeah.
There's a lot of surface area there.
Going on, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's very funny.
And also those dresses that she likes, those $10,000 dresses that she likes to wear, as political statements.
For sure.
Where does she think that comes from?
Yeah. That's absolutely hilarious.
Who's gonna pay the political agitators that got her elected?
Yeah. Low level socialist agitators, as Alan West likes to say. That's what he called Obama.
So that's the plan. I think we have something. It sounds simple, but it's actually, I think it's very important. People have to understand what the Erev Rav is. They have to understand Amalek. These are the true key words.
Yeah.
If only people knew them. Think about this. What is this idea? Like just the word. If we can get the word Amalek, the word Tuli. Okay, which is the same, which is Amalek Tuli, okay, and Erev Rav, right, into the public consciousness.
Yeah.
I think that they're fighting with all of their resources to prevent those minor details from happening.
Yeah.
To have those 2 words known.
Yeah.
They know how to, there's trending this, trending that, right?
Yeah.
It's like they know exactly how to make certain ideas and words flow into the public consciousness, right? Yeah. They know exactly what to do. And they also know exactly how to prevent some.
Yeah.
Right? So in order to prevent one, they'll flood it with the other thing. But if it got in there somehow, I think that alone would shut the whole situation down.
Yeah.
Because they know the words now. Okay, all right. I mean, now it's a matter of time. Now we either have to get into our UFOs or we have to, find the bunker in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Or Tartaria.
Yeah.
For the Russians.
It's hilarious.
Dude, I saw footage of. Here's the only real footage that I actually saw coming out of Ukraine in the past couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
There are societies which are helping people to save their pets.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They have
dogs and cats. They have footage of these dogs with giant gashes in their heads.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And I just want to flip my table over.
Dude.
And
my mom sent me. You know what? The Mykolaiv Zoo. They can't feed their animals, so they're basically just asking people to go on their website and just literally, it's like buy a ticket, but it's as if it's like a donation. Obviously, you're not going to go to the zoo, but you're just that's the way of donating directly by buying a ticket on their website, and that's how they're raising money to feed the animals. It's crazy. They have like mamash like tigers and giraffes and all this kind of stuff over there. All these like wolves. It's crazy. Like serious animals,
Of course, man. Dude, a zoo is a serious, it's a serious sin.
Yeah.
The idea of a zoo in general.
Yeah, I know. Keeping animals like that locked up.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
God, man, it's like I say, boss. I'm serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I hear, man. I totally hear you. Yeah, I was looking at a picture of those like little tigers and stuff over there. I'm like, why are you keeping? You want to just like show these animals to people? Why are you keeping? Why does any human being take an animal out of its freaking habitat? Like, zачем? And like some of these guys are born in captivity. You know, they're like, there's
dude,
like. Yeah.
can you find this scene? Do you remember this movie? This is on topic of what we're talking about.
Okay.
I just want to show. I want you to know how I feel.
Yeah.
Was that movie with Clint Eastwood, where he's like he's a Secret Service agent, and John Malkovich is the guy who's trying to kill the president.
It's called In the Line of Fire.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking at John Malkovich.
So what's the scene?
John Malkovich, Duck Hunters. Let me see if that works.
In the Line of Fire, duck scene. Here, I found it. In the Line of Fire, Mitch Leary kills hunters.
Yeah.
Plastic resin composite zip gun.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes. So he's testing this gun that he's going to use to kill, right, in the movie.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna play the audio of this if you don't mind.
I just want the people to know what we're doing. So so John Malkovich, he's like in the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
He's there by himself.
Yeah.
He's the guy who wants to assassinate, whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
And he's testing this special plastic gun that he developed specifically for this thing. And then these two hunters come along, and they're like, and they see him playing with the gun, and they're like, "Oh man, what is that?" And he explains it to them.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, that's so cool. Can I see it?" And he's like, "Sure."
Yeah.
Okay, now go ahead, play.
All right. Here's it's like a toy boat. Oh my god, he's like shooting a toy boat in the water, in the lake, whatever, mud, swamp. Wow. There we go.
Was that you shooting? Yes.
I love John
What kind of
Malkovich.
gun is that?
Malkovich is incredible.
Something I made.
Something I
No
made.
kidding.
Something I made.
You made it?
What a psycho.
Guess he's paid for it, huh? Can I see it?
Dude, what's happening? I don't understand.
They're just what? What do you mean?
Light. Yeah, it's light.
She's showing them the gun.
It's composite, like plastic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
You, want to give her a little dance? Not at all. Go for it.
Crazy. Oh shit.
That is great.
Just shot into a bunch of
Really
ducks.
great.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
You, wouldn't be interested in selling, would you? No, I mean, for what? To assassinate the president.
It's crazy.
What'd you want to do that for, mister? Why did you kill that bird, asshole?
Oh shit. It's like nonchalant. Why'd you kill?
That's how I feel.
Why did you kill
I
that
just feel
bird,
like
asshole?
like at this point, I'm just like, why, you asshole?
Yeah.
Are you keeping that lion in the middle of the city in a cage? You stupid sack of shit.
Yeah. You know, the only people that I at least I don't say condone, but you know, I told you there's a couple that has the puma in their house, the little Messi the puma in Russia.
No, that's their that's their child.
Yeah, he's like their child. He's like pet. He's like an enlarged house cat. That's all he is, you know. So, and
yeah, I'm not in support of that either. I think ladies should have real children and not have pumas.
Yeah, and he takes them for walks. They live out in the taiga. You know, he takes them for like walks in the wilderness and stuff. He's not just like totally locked in a cage. Lives very free.
That's some kind of like, I think that's an example of some kind of woke shit infiltrating Russia.
It's not woke. They just like this
they're
guy.
a young couple. They're a young couple, right?
Yeah.
And all right, let's say I don't know if she has any issues like fertility, all that kind of stuff. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like it's a symbol for what's going on in the world, right? Where like instead of having children, people have, they think that animals take the place of children.
Yeah, it's like in Tel Aviv.
Now I have
dogs.
6 animals.
Yeah.
And I love them.
Yeah.
Probably more than I do most people.
Yeah.
But I know that those are not children. Those are aminals, as I call them.
Yes. Dude, you know who else has that many cats? Curtis Sliwa. He's got a boatload of cats. More than you. By the way.
No, you find, there's people who have a heart. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. He has 15 cats. Some of them he kind of like gives up for adoption, but at any given time he's got 16 cats. 15 cats. What you were saying, I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
No.
I'm just saying, like, I wanted to give you a sense.
Yeah.
Like, when I see that kind of crap, you see, like, animals, like, suffering because of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For dumb shit. It's not like, and it's not for, like, human survival. I'm not taking whale blubber out of the hands of an Eskimo.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, like, why do you need to have a hyena or a zebra, like, in the middle of Kiev? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Yeah. Well, poor country. We are poor country. We need to show you. No good reason. No good reason. Humans are weird.
Yeah, man.
Humans are weird creatures. They are weird.
I'm not impressed.
I'm impressed. Let's put it this way. I'm impressed with only a small segment of them. The rest of them, Why do you think Hashem made it that way? That like most of the people that we encounter are just unimpressive. It's just they literally are like NPCs. It's like we live in like an NPC society. Very strange. We've turned into that.
Basically, if I had to guess what somebody who, let's say, is connected with God's will would say, all right, they would probably say something like, "Well, you got to wake him up. That's why God sent you there." So that's that guy you're looking at, the NPC.
Yeah.
You have to wake him. You have to wake him up out of his NPC-ness.
Yeah.
That's what they'd say. That's what God wants you to do. God doesn't want that to be the case. So He puts you there.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
As annoying as that is, that's probably true.
Yeah. Well, these are the gripes of the modern Orthodox or mainstream Orthodox women who are op-ed columnists for some of these Jewish magazines, and these are Orthodox women.
God.
This is on Twitter. I was pushing a cart filled with Pesach groceries yesterday at the store. I walked by 2 women at separate times who each said the same words to me. You're making me nervous. What does this mean? Pesach is an anxiety-provoking holiday riddled by peer pressure for many women. Then there's responses. I know you were shopping for Pesach, but a lot of people are mass buying products, stocking up from a nervous anticipation of an uncertain, unstable future. Maybe that's what the women thought. I don't know. It falls on the women to make it special, this other guy responding. Maybe because they are the only ones who can. It's a blessing, but a lot of pressure. And then this woman, thumbs down, feminist, who says they're the only ones who can. And then this is the responses. I've started talking about the idea of no Pesach shaming. Oh my God. I do wonder about the scripts we say out loud to ourselves. Like it's entered the consciousness of from women that we are supposed to say things like this. By the way, I was called out for being rude and insensitive for this. I think I literally said, you're making me nervous to a grocery store and cap full of matzah yesterday. This feeling is so damn real. It's not just women, this guy responds. I'm the main Pesach planner, shopper, chef, and cleaner in our family, some guy. Of course, my wife is still the main worrier. Notice all these people are Ashkenazi Americans. Seriously though, what causes this? Is it just the getting kosher for Pesach part, or high standards for cuisine that are too burdensome? This is some rabbi something guy. Even without high cuisine, it's a stressful time. Lots to do to fit in. To fit in! Need to be strong at time management and organization. It might be less peer pressure and more a reminder that they too would love to be Pesach shopping but haven't cleaned out, insert physical space home here, yet so can't stock up. It's not I can't keep up with her and more of I can't keep up with the ticking clock. Totally, lots of stress-inducing thoughts. Totally would have said the same thing to you if I saw you in the supermarket. I find Passover becomes the holiday that becomes much longer than the 7 to 8 days God intended it to be. When I see the Passover products on the shelves, my heart starts pounding. Emojis. Just that you're buying stuff so early, because we keep track of who's ahead of us, and clearly you're ahead of them in your prep. Dude. Ani yobnute. I heard the idea of Pesach, you're allowed to be like psychotic about certain things. Like it's you're encouraged to be psychotic. But these people are they're not yomnutu in the halachic sense, machpid machmir sense. They're yomnutu in the they're trying to do. They think that they're upset about having to give up their cuisine for 8 days. They can't eat the things that they normally eat. They can't do the things that they normally do, the way that they do them in their kitchen or in their house. That's what they're upset about. They're not upset about, oh my God, I have to be so machmir. It's not that difficult to be machmir. You're just gonna eat like very simple things. Whoop-de-doo.
It's I don't know. Is vapidity a word? Vapidity? Is there such a thing? Vapidity.
Like vapid?
Yes. I want to see if... Oh, there is a vapidity.
Yes, vapidity is the state of quality of being vapid. Flatness, dullness, insipidity.
Okay. It's such a... It's a similar mindset to Trudeau.
Yeah.
And to Horseface. I already forgot her name. What's her name?
AOC? Oh, Ardern. Jacinda Ardern.
Yeah, Jacinda. Yeah. Those are two examples of people who are, I'm starting to understand. They have such a... So there is a connection between vapidity and psychosis.
Of course. Yeah.
It goes unchecked.
Yeah.
Or it's indulged.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing that person wrote, right?
Yeah.
Now they're not a bad writer. It's just that their focus, their interest
is on nonsense.
It's so shameful.
Yeah.
It's shameful because of how unself-aware it is.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is it so self-aware? Because who the hell indulged this person? Who let this person grow up thinking that is... Who didn't smack the shit out of her?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like, if I said anything that stupid, I couldn't. You understand? I literally wouldn't be allowed to. It's shameful.
Yeah.
It's so unimportant. It's so flavorless. Forget about... I shouldn't say flavorless, because that's not really what I'm complaining about. I'm saying that such a conversation even to have. With how unaware are you about what's going on in the world? Like, how... do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I understand. I'm not expressing myself. When I'm confronted with that, that's when I'm at a loss for words. Yeah. And I talk a lot, as everyone knows, who's listening to this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm actually... Well, I can say many words about how I'm at a loss for words, but to directly address this, I mean, sometimes I get suspicious when I hear something like this. Like, this is too vapid to be organic.
Yeah.
I mean, am I getting too crazy here? Like, this is some kind of conspiracy?
No.
Maybe. Like, is this released out there so that frum ladies will read this and think that this is what it's okay to be like? Like, we should be like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
When was this written? Just curious. Was this
recently? This was written. It's tweeted out like yesterday, 20 hours ago.
This wasn't meant to be like humorous, was it? Like, this is not some kind of satire.
I guess, yeah, not satire. It's like something she's experiencing. I don't know.
I mean, maybe we're flying off the handle here. Maybe this is just some kind of weird, like,
Yeah.
This is like some kind of weird, like, inner monologue, like Sex in the City.
That's all it is. That's really all it is. That's really all it is.
I mean, Sex in the City. I couldn't, that.
Yeah.
I think I could sit through Moulin Rouge before I can sit through 5 minutes of Sex in the City.
Yeah. See, this other chick wrote, if you don't have a separate Pesach kitchen, there is a very, very limited amount of time which to cook many meals for many people. This causes stress, especially to people who would ideally do things slowly and be prepared in advance. Okay.
Can I just, before we go back to that, I just wanted to say something, okay? Yeah. When I was younger, right, like Sex in the City was on, right?
Yeah.
And, sometimes I would tune into certain shows, like on cable, with the hope of seeing boobs, okay?
Yeah.
And I was told that there's boobs on Sex in the City. Okay? This is many years ago, all right? So, and, okay, there was boobs, there was. But it was the first time I've ever, in my young life, come to the understanding that, that wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
What I had to go through to finally see boobs, the boobs was not a big enough payoff to have to sit through those conversations and through that vapidity and self-centeredness.
Yeah. Yep.
I couldn't understand the premise.
And girls that I dated at that time were taking a cue from these MFers. They ruined dating. They ruined everything. They were one of the culprits. It's just,
dude, a movie. Hold on, the folks at home. I think they probably think we're being too harsh, but let me present this case to the folks at home, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. When all right, let's pick a movie like you sent me those Harrison Ford clips today, right? So let's talk about Star Wars for a second.
Yeah. By the way, FYI, man, I'm just gonna be making rice in the background, but in case you hear some noise.
All right. So, dude, but last time, dude, that freaking kitchen noise that was like the hell, man.
I apologize.
Great. That's fine. And it used to piss me off with the typing, but now I realize you're typing angry, and that sort of amuses me.
I'm typing a what?
Like your typing normally is very, very, it's very loud, right? And you don't realize it. And it used to piss me off, but now it amuses me because I realize you're typing angry. You're like, you son of a bitch. I'll kill you,
No, it's not just the angry. What happened was I have a Mac and the E button broke. And so now I plugged in this like typical IBM keyboard that I had at home, and it's just like super loud. It's just like one of those these raised keys, Yeah. And, but listen, dude, can you give me like 30 seconds? I just need to use the little boys' room here.
The little boys' room. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be back in a sec. Continue.
Okay, so I'll make it quick. Seriously.
Okay.
Okay. So you have a movie, let's say Star Wars. Okay, Star Wars, there is a main character. It's fine to have a main character in a story, no problem, okay? But you're not hearing every one of his thoughts.
Yeah.
Through the acting, you're seeing the process of the character's development, right?
Yeah.
You have a goofy kid, right, who, he's being sheltered on a water farm, a farm that harvests water, whatever that is, okay? He goes around, he has like a pickup truck.
Yeah.
He has a rifle, he goes, he shoots womp rats, whatever the hell that is. Okay? All right? Starts off like a goofy kid. Yeah. And then there's a process. You see him develop over time.
Yeah.
See these characters, not just him, but other characters too. Okay,
Yeah.
fine, no problem. There's nothing wrong with having a central character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're not. But the central character, you see them going through, growing in a process, and they're not portrayed as thinking about themselves and their feelings and their situations and their own personal relationships. There's a story there. They're trying to accomplish something.
Yeah.
There's a goal.
Yeah.
There's a villain.
Yeah.
There's a process. There's something.
You're saying there's not a mental narration, like a.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no Sex and the City is nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, and like Seinfeld was about nothing too.
Yeah.
But at least you didn't hear their stupid thoughts.
Yeah.
You heard their thoughts expressed in a ridiculous way when speaking to each other. But that was to show it was like clowns performing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, Sex and the City is not. They're not trying to be clowny.
Yeah.
They're trying to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
They want to be everything. They want to be.
They want to be funny and serious and this and that, but it's like it ends up being very, very stupid.
Deep and you know.
Yeah.
And the conclusions that they come to
Yeah.
are all garbage.
And of course, one of the characters meets a Jewish guy, and she converts for him, but it's reform because he doesn't give a damn. You know the whole thing, right?
I have a kind of
one of the characters, this Charlotte chick, whatever. Don't ask me how I dated somebody that was watching this show years ago. She's like, oh, isn't this so cute? She's converting for him. I'm like, not really, because the guy doesn't give a damn, and they go to some reform shul with a female rabbi, with a rabbah.
Dude,
the whole thing is just.
There's an episode of American Dad.
Yeah.
Where I think the theme was the movie Platoon.
Yeah.
Right? So
Do they play Adagio for strings?
I don't know. I don't remember. Actually, yeah, I think they may have. Yeah. You know, like when he's like getting lifted away in the helicopter, right?
Yeah.
That dramatic kind of. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
With the napalm, you know.
Yeah, no. So in this episode, they're doing Vietnam reenactment. Right?
Yeah.
And then the kid, you know, the father is like, he's telling the kid, "You want to come?" And he's like, "Vietnam reenactment, isn't it? Don't you mean Civil War reenactment?" He goes,
no.
Civil War reenactment is for racists and for something else, right? Vietnam, something like, even though that's not true. But
yeah.
It was
whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Stan Smith, Vietnam. Okay. So Roger the Alien obviously gets involved in this, right?
Yeah.
So Roger the Alien plays the Viet Cong, right? And he captures Stan, right? And then Stan like wakes up and he's like, he has his like hands tied, he's like hanging, you know, he's like hanging up, he's like unshaven, you know, he doesn't know how long he's been there.
Yeah.
and then Roger the Alien is dressed like a Vietnamese, like, you know, Viet Cong guy.
Yeah.
Right? And he starts torturing him, right? So he's like, and then Stan is like, "I'll never tell you anything, right?" He goes, "Yeah, we see. Oh yeah, we see, right?" And then he slaps him. He goes, "No." He slaps him again. He goes, "No, tell me, no, tell you." He keeps slapping him. He goes, "Okay, oh, wise guy, yeah, okay." So then he starts. He goes, "Oh, look what I have here. Oh, it's a script. Oh, look at the script, right?" And then Stan's like, you know, he gets worried, and then he's like, he goes, "Oh, what does it say? Oh, Sex in the City, right?" And he's like, "No," right? And then he starts reading the script to Stan, and then Stan is like, he's like banging on his feet with his, you know, he's banging against the cage.
It's like
Dude, you have to see this. It's literally, yeah. Stan's with me. Hold on. Okay, so the episode is called In Country Club. Hang on. I'm hoping that you can maybe hear this one better.
Everyone calm down! I have been in 2 war reenactments, and you men will be safe if you...
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on.
With me! No!
Okay, so Stan Smith is in a golf cart, right? That's that has like a cage around it for the guy to collect the golf balls, so he doesn't get pegged with golf balls, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, he has his hands tied up, like Rambo, right?
Yeah.
And he's like hanging from the ceiling or the roof of the golf cart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roger, let me go.
You give me code now! Now! Hold it now! Right, guy, huh?
Roger, stop. I'm never going to give you that pay-per-view code.
We see. This is Michael Patrick King's first draft of the Sex and the City. It's 700 pages.
Listen.
You guys know that young firefighter I did last night? Well, his pose spattered all over my European mosaic floor, and I slipped in it. But it's okay, girls, because I landed square on the rabbit and found out what's up down. Theo. Samantha's story made me wonder, if I slipped, would Big be there to catch me?
Ladies, it's so so painful.
Yep.
It's so painful.
Yep.
We'd rather be like hooked up to an electric shock thing, like in Rambo, First Blood. Like,
Or stays. As we say.
It does something. As Patrice O'Neill would say, it whittles at you. It whittles away at your spirit.
God. Oh my God. Terrible. Just terrible. I don't know. I remember, I was dating a girl who used to watch that show. This is like 2004, 2005.
Do you remember those goddamn?
And I'm just like, what is the appeal? Nothing's the appeal. It's just whatever, whatever.
Do you remember the ringtones? Do you remember the ringtones? Every girl had that damn ringtone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever that like weird little xylophone. Don't play it. Do me a favor. I don't ever want to hear it.
No, I'm not gonna play. I'm in the kitchen.
It's like some kind of xylophone, right?
Yeah. It's like they're trying to what they're trying to do is they're trying to make this. The xylophone is an instrument that gives you the feeling that everything is just ho hum and everyday life.
It's light, it's fluffy, it's sexy, it's seductive, it's fun.
Yeah. It's normal. It's totally normal. Whatever you hear, whatever you see is totally normal, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Dude, is this from the movie where the old one, not the old one, the oldest one of them? What's her name?
You mean the old whore? She's an old whore. She's a whore.
Okay, but also she was in a movie that I liked, so I don't want to be too
Why
hard
is it
on her.
okay for guys to be whores but not for girls?
Because it's not. Blood. Okay?
Exactly.
Because it's freaking not. Because it's not in your nature to do that. It's in our nature. Blood. Pardon my language.
Why? Let me tell you, ladies. Because there would be no human race if that wasn't the situation.
Exactly. There would be no Shlomo Amalek.
There would be no people. Don't go there. There would be no people. There would be no people in general.
Yeah.
Okay? There are a lot of people who were born just because men are animals. Okay?
Yeah.
We're
like Genghis Khan and his crew.
Yeah, he really took that. Yeah, Genghis Khan. I would be very grateful not to have any of his genes.
Or as William Shatner likes to scream, Khan!
God. Yeah, it was so creepy. Like the look of satisfaction that he had when he heard Kirk screaming.
Ricardo Montalban is the actor.
Yeah.
The plane boss. The plane.
Dude, you know that actor Peter Weller?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a few notable movies that he was in. Obviously, RoboCop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the Star Trek movie that came out, like, you know, the newer ones, the one where they did Khan, you know, where Cumberbatch was Khan. Remember?
Yeah. Yes.
You saw it, right? Okay.
Hold on.
Benedict Cumber, you know that.
I know the actor. No, I just didn't see the movie, but I know the actor. So what about him?
So Peter Weller, okay?
RoboCop, RoboCop.
Right. So Peter Weller was, I mean, I think he, you know, that movie RoboCop probably, like, definitely set me back maybe a decade or two, you know, in consciousness, like, you know, like it and I'm not alone. That harmed kids who saw that movie when they showed him getting killed, right? Like I don't know if anybody wants to remember that, but that was probably the most brutal death scene in all movie history. Maybe Donnie Brasco. I don't know. It was. I think it was worse than Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was like, you know, oh God. So anyway, so I have this association with this guy, right? And then the next time I see him in a movie, it's in this movie, and in this movie, Khan basically, like, I don't think they show it, but like the bad guy rips his head off in front of his daughter. It's like, does this guy ever go in a movie without getting killed in the most horrible possible way? Is that in his contract that he has?
I think so, yeah.
God.
They tell him, like, oh, you know, you're very killable.
You are such a killable.
It's like a character.
And I wonder, like, what the hell?
It's like, what kind of characters do you play? I play the guy that gets killed.
Like, why, man? It's like, anyway.
It's not fair.
They're like, hey, aren't you that guy who got killed really horribly? Oh, you want to get killed again really horribly? Sure, okay. You know, since you're used to it already,
so
you know
this
what
time
you're
you're not coming back as a robot.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. What do you think? I mean, I guess the answer lies within the question. HBO for sure had that show to dumb down society. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think it that played a very big role in hurting women, I think.
Yeah. Because now these women have kids. That generation, which is our generation, women have children.
No, man, no. That's the problem.
No, some of them do. Some of them actually do.
Right, no, but I'm saying that some of them do, but not enough of them. And it's because of that show.
I know. Or if they do, they're divorced.
Right, so what's her name? You know, the oldest one. She's a beautiful lady, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? So I forgot her. Oh, Kim Cattrall.
Yes,
That's her name.
Yes.
I remember because she was off the hook in Big Trouble in Little China. Remember that?
Yeah, she was like in the 80s movies.
That movie was, I think, it was the same guy who did They Live. You know, it's a certain style.
By the way,
anyway,
she had 3 husbands. She's married 3 times.
Did she have any children? She didn't have any children.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
I heard Gavin McInnes say.
Hold on.
You know, that's one of the reasons I like Gavin McInnes, because he knows all this crap, right?
Cattrall has been married 3 times. Her first marriage from 1977.
I think her last husband, if I'm not mistaken, left her because she didn't want to have any kids.
Hold on. It just says from 77 to 79 was married to this guy Larry Davis, was annulled. Her second marriage, 82 to 89. Andre Lyson, the couple lived in Frankfurt, where she learned to speak German, but she admits she has forgotten a lot over the years. Third marriage, 1998 till 2004, was to American audio equipment designer Mark Levinson. The couple co-wrote the book Satisfaction, The Art of the Female Orgasm in 2002. Cattrall briefly dated former Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, and in 2016 was misidentified on 60 Minutes from a 1981 photo as Margaret, the mother of his son Justin. Misidentified.
Okay, misidentified, right, okay.
She has also been connected to Brazilian-American actor Daniel Benzali, Oh, she's like a hoe in real life. American musician Gerald Casale, French public intellectual Bernard-Henri Lévy, that freaking clown who debated Dugin, and British Sudanese actor Alexander Siddig. She has been dating BBC employee Russell Thomas since 2016. Cattrall held a dual British and Canadian citizenship for most of her life and became an American. She was born in England, by the way. Became an American citizen in 2020 in order to vote in that year's election. Cattrall took part in the BBC One documentary, Who Do You Think You Are? She discovered that her grandmother... Oh, that whole 2009. Grandfather George Baugh disappeared in 1938, having abandoned his family, including Cattrall's then 8-year-old mother and her 2 younger sisters, and turned out to have bigamously married his new wife the following year in Tudhoe. I don't know what that is. He subsequently had another 4 children. Cattrall was told that Baugh emigrated to Australia in 1961, became a postmaster, retired in 1972, and died in Sydney in 1974. Her mother and aunts had known nothing of her father's life after he left until they heard who do you think you are? Researchers had discovered, nor had the family previously seen any clear photograph of him. An edited version of the episode was later shown as a part of the US series of the same name. In 2018, Cattrall joined Judi Dench as an ambassador for the Royal Botanical Kew Gardens in London, the largest and most diverse botanical and mycological collections in the world. Cattrall has been honored with 2 honorary degrees, an honorary fellowship from Liverpool. What?
I know I tortured you with Admiral Byrd yesterday.
We don't, because some of this stuff there might be, like the Trudeau stuff. You might hear some stuff that's like.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on, Kim Cattrall, children. Hold on, Kim Cattrall, children. She has.
I don't think she has children.
Oh, in a new podcast interview, Kim Cattrall opened up about her decision to not have kids while filming Sex and the City. See why agent schedules played a big role. Kim Cattrall is reflecting on her personal decision to not have kids. Even though she doesn't have kids, listen to this. Cattrall calls herself a parent because of the people she mentors. I'm a parent. I have young actors and actresses that I mentor, and I have nieces and nephews that I'm very close to. That's it. That's all you get.
See what I mean? Mm-hmm. All right. I'm just curious. Let's look at this cast and see how many of them have kids. I don't know. Does Sarah Jessica Parker have children? Yeah. Does Sarah Jessica Parker, does she have children?
Hold on.
I would assume she does.
I think she does.
Married to Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, they have 3 kids. They have 3 kids.
Okay, all right. That's 1 for her.
Yeah,
3 actually. 3 for her.
Hold on.
Okay.
And then you have Kristen Davis, the Charlotte.
Oh, that's the hot one, right?
That's the one that married the Jew on the show. And
I don't know the show that well, but she's like the pretty one with the she's a brunette, right?
She has kids. And then there's the redhead. What's her name?
Nixon's granddaughter. I think she is, right? Isn't she like
What?
Nixon's granddaughter?
What? Cynthia Nixon, you're talking about?
I thought she was Nixon's granddaughter. Somebody told me that. No?
Really?
I never confirmed it. I was just thinking, like, all right, I guess Nixon can have a granddaughter, I suppose. So.
Cynthia Nixon. Yeah, she has.
We should talk about Eisenhower's granddaughter.
Yeah, that's fine. So she has kids also. So basically, Cattrall is the only one that.
Okay, but in the movie, right? I think it was in the movie or in the end of the show. I just remember this little piece where she says, I found out that I do have a love affair with myself, something like that. She said something like that.
Oh,
Right, but by the way, in the show, I think only Nixon's daughter had a kid, right?
Something like that, yeah. I don't remember.
Whatever.
Dude, I'm telling you, can I be honest with you? It was actually one of the many simanim that when I was dating that girl, nice girl, just like, that I realized that girl's not for me. Because she's into that show. It was one of the many simanim.
It's crazy.
Another siman was that this girl used to watch the Food Network, but she didn't know how to cook. I was like, why do you watch it? She's like, I just like to watch them how to make the food. I'm like, that's cool. That's very, you're being very useful.
Food porn.
Yeah. It was like back when all that started, 2004, 2005, and that whole, the Food Network, Paula Dean, before she said the N-word,
Dude, I'm sorry, I gotta interrupt you. Hold on. I just Googled, is Cynthia Nixon, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I put that, I didn't even have to finish it. It's like, is Cynthia Nixon related to Richard Nixon? Here, listen, the first hit is from a website called metro.us. All right, listen to this.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, is Cynthia Nixon related to Richard Nixon? Former Sex and the City actress, Tony winner and current New York gubernatorial candidate.
Oh, God.
Wait, that's from before, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's from 2018. Okay, I guess she didn't win. Okay.
Yeah.
You think she would have been any better than Cuomo? Possibly. Who knows?
Yeah,
Man, I mean, she may have not decided to kill all those old people.
Cuomo was, well, I was going to say, minus this killing, stop people, Cuomo's still better than Hocho. Another lizard NPC person.
Her name was Kojo. It sounds like one of these, like, it sounds like an Aztec, god called Quetzalcoatl.
Yes.
which is a lizard, by the way.
Yeah, it's what they made sacrifices to from the pyramid. They threw people down the pyramid.
Absolutely. Okay. So former Sex and the City actress Tony winner and current New York gubernatorial candidate, something that has a politically famous last name. But she's actually part of the political dynasty. The answer is probably good for her political prospects. No.
Yeah.
Cynthia Nixon is not related to disgraced 37th President Richard Nixon.
Yeah, disgraced. He only made detente, you freaking clowns. Пидорасы. Огромные пидорасы.
Do you know what's incredible? Nixon compared to
Hillary, is it?
Anybody after him, except for Reagan and Trump.
Dude, this is a perfect segue because after you finish what you're going to say, I'm going to tell you who Trump sued today.
He sued the Clinton. He sued,
not just.
Clinton.
I'm going to give you the whole list of people that he sued. But go on.
Oh my God, dude! How is the lawsuit against Facebook and Twitter going? That's what
I have no idea, but I'm going to give you the list of human beings that he sued, not entities.
All right.
Would you like to hear it?
Yes, I'm with bated breath.
Okay. This is from Docket. This is like my pre-law school chops. March 24th, 2022. This is a 108-page document, but I'm only going to read you the pertinent parts. United States District Court, Southern District of Florida. Or as I like to call it, Florida. Okay. Case number whatever. Doesn't say. Donald Trump, plaintiff, versus Hillary Clinton. HFAC Inc. I don't know what the heck that is. It's a company. Democratic National Committee. DNC Services Corporation. Perkins Co. That's the law firm. The one that got this Fusion GPS crap. LLC. Michael Sussman. You know who that is? Mark Elias. That's all. These are all the lawyers. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Your favorite Florida Jew. Big nose. Charles Halliday Dolan. Okay. Jr. Jake Sullivan. John Podesta de Molesta.
Yeah.
Robert Mook. I don't know what that is. Philip Reines. Phil heard the name. Fusion GPS. Glenn Simpson. Peter Fritsch. I don't know what that is. Nellie Orr. Orr is like that guy. These are the people who got the documents. Bruce Orr. This is a husband and wife. Orbis Business Intelligence Limited. Christopher Steele from the Steele dossier. Igor Danchenko. New Star Inc., Rodney Jaffe, James Comey, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Kevin Kleinsmith, Andrew McCabe, John Doe's 1 through 10. These are names that are not whatever. And ABC Corporations 1 through 10. Okay, so it's whatever. La 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 la. Introduction, blah blah blah. Oh. Yeah, speaking of Nixon. Acting in concert, the defendants maliciously conspired to weave a false narrative that their Republican opponent, Donald J. Trump, was colluding with hostile foreign sovereignty. The actions taken in furthermore of their scheme, falsifying evidence, deceiving law enforcement, and exploiting access to highly sensitive data sources, are so outrageous, subversive, and incendiary that even the events of Watergate pale in comparison. This is the opening paragraph of the introduction of this lawsuit. Amazing. Hold on, let me just get to kind of like the meat and potatoes of this thing. Yeah, there's all these like 170 points of whatever. Wow, his lawyers are good. Holy crap! Look at this. Question. Oh, there's like a whole deposition here. Like a they have a back question and answer, interrogation thing, whatever. My goodness, he really prepared this. Here we go. Respectfully submitted by the Tickton Law Firm, Deerfield Beach, Florida. Jamie Allen Sasson, Shayna Van Maren, and Haba Madayo and Associates LLP, Bedminster, New Jersey. Alina Haba, Michael T. Madayo. These are all the lawyers.
Yeah.
Hold on. Requested this court, defendants, blah, blah, blah. Something. Hold on. Yeah, he just like, my God. He I mean, I guess this is a civil lawsuit, but sometimes these civil things, when you go into like discovering stuff, then you see,
right.
Criminal stuff, and then the criminal stuff begins. I guess that's
what happened to OJ, right? Like the kind of
but his is by OJ, he fled the cops. He became a suspect. They had the criminal trial. The
criminal trial he won, but then they got him on the civil.
The civil, yeah, and he had to pay. Yeah, it's like it's as if like, but then karma got him when he had that stupid. He got caught trying to like retrieve his own memorabilia or something.
His own jersey.
What a schmuck! He just got out, by the way, on parole. For all that.
Dude, I think that they're trying to destroy the world because we have this rule where it says that God destroys civilizations that don't enforce the law.
Yeah.
That sell human meat in the. This is kind of more of a midrashic.
Yeah.
This is a midrashic statement, but they sell human meat in an open market.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they, I think the third one is they condone homosexual legal marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not about it's not about homosexuals living together
not about the act,
doing.
Yeah. It's actually
it's
making
about
it
the legal
law.
Contract.
Yeah. It's about making law.
Right.
Law of the land.
Right. So they released Juicy Smoulier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
A very French actor from France.
Mm-hmm.
After a couple of days, and he tried to start a worldwide race war.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now they're releasing a clear murderer.
Race combined with sexual orientation war. And now they're releasing clear murder. Yep.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, they're obviously doing this. Like, they understand. I believe that the other side understands the spiritual dynamics.
Of course. And this all began in 1994, as we know. When the Rebbe passed away, right after that was the OJ chase. Right after that. 2 weeks after, a week after. Crazy. We saw it on our TV screens. The Bronco.
It was such a strange...
Very weird.
Like, I didn't even understand why. Like when the whole world was watching this, it was almost some kind of magic spell.
Yeah, it was.
That were cast on the world that didn't affect me. I didn't understand why anybody was interested in that case.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell
Because
you.
he's not that famous.
No. He was, and he was known to America. First of all, he was known to America. First of all, he was a very talented football player. But not only talented football player, he became like a public figure. Why? Because he became this kind of dude. You should really watch a documentary about OJ on ESPN. I'll send it to you. He was like the guy. He got a scholarship to USC, University of Southern California, and he became a guy who like white women. It's like where the white women at? That wanted to date. He was like that guy. On campus. He was like the big man on campus. They didn't even consider him. I mean, like they considered him black, but they didn't consider him black. You know what I mean? He became like the palatable black guy for America. To the point where he was like in Hertz commercials and that commercial and the movies that to make a gun and this.
Yeah.
So there was even I think Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock, they made a whole thing of like, America loved OJ. He was white to them, and then as soon as he killed that white woman, and he went to there was a chase and there's automatically he's black. He's back to being black. But he was he was like beloved. He was like the guy, And that's why, people were stunned when this happened, And there's also all this like intrigue with the whole like, his wife cheated on him. And then we found out later that he used to like be aggressive with her, with Nicole. And then he cheated on her, and this. And of course the guy was Jewish, the guy doing the Goldman.
Yeah.
And then the parents, you saw the parents.
What do you mean, of course?
No, it's just like a Jew had to be involved somehow, And then get off the phone, ching chang chong, bleed.
No, that was me, dude. That was me. I was hissing. I'm sorry.
And then
I was
course,
not the CCP for once. For once.
And then of course, there's like these, Dershowitz was one of the lawyers in the beginning. Then he stepped off. Then he went away. Robert Shapiro ended up founding LegalZoom. You know the website LegalZoom.com?
Yeah.
That's Robert Shapiro. And then you have like, it made like Johnny Cochran famous to the point where they lampooned the character on Seinfeld. Who told you to put the bomb on? I didn't tell you to put the bomb on.
This is an outrage.
This is the outrage. I didn't tell you to put the bomb on. Who told you to put the bomb on? I didn't tell you to put the bomb on. Because of Kramer when he burned himself. It's like amazing, right? Jackie Childs, that was the character. Then you have
I remember.
Marsha Clark. It's like these like, dude, it was like watching a movie with these lawyers.
It was a circus. It had this circus. Dude, it felt like I don't know. Like when you ever feel like greasy for some reason?
Yeah,
like
it was nasty.
Food.
It felt nasty. Yeah. No.
Everything about that felt like.
And of course, there's an Asian. Japanese American judge, Judge Ito, but he's American. He's like Lawrence Ito.
Yeah, Lance Ito. Right,
Ito,
exactly.
Lance.
We were just talking about the other way, like
What were you saying? Hello.
Well, yeah, Glenn Isuzu.
Yeah. Joey Suzu.
And his brother Glenn. Here's Daryl Yokohama.
Exactly. Huh.
Here's Cletus Sato.
And of course, one of the prosecuting lawyers is a black guy, and he had to be turned into like Uncle Tom, even though he's not. Marsha Clark and the other.
I don't remember any of the prosecuting attorneys.
It was Marsha Clark, with the haircut.
With the curly hair, right?
Curly hair, and then she fixed her hair. She made it normal. And then, hold on. 2 lawyers. OJ case, prosecution. What was his name? Brin. I'll tell you what his name was. No, it wasn't William Hodgman. It was a black prosecutor. OJ case. His name was Christopher Darden. The black guy. Christopher Darden.
No memory of it.
Whatever, he's like this kind of tall black guy with glasses. who like every black person started to hate. Yeah, because he was.
Dude, when OJ, I remember exactly where I was when OJ was declared innocent. I was in Spanish class in the 9th grade at Sheepshead Bay High School, and you know while we were in class, some black dude was like banging on the door.
Oh my god!
He's like, OJ's innocent, you know, and the whole class started laughing and stuff like that.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I just remember that split screen that they showed of black people and white people in bars and restaurants, and you see like white people just like as if somebody killed their pet, and the black people are dancing around as if they got like catharsis of 400 years of wrongful.
Yeah, like what did they win? By the way,
they won feelings.
Can we say a prayer? Can we say a prayer for Clarence Thomas for his refuah shalema?
We can. Yeah.
All right. I want God. Could you please don't kill Clarence Thomas, please, and keep him on. Keep him there and keep that wicked creature who doesn't know what a woman or a man is. Yeah. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what makes a woman or a man a man.
Only allow.
Please keep that thing.
Only allow if you're gonna have dafka, you know, black people in the Supreme Court. Only allow qualified people. And if you must do the whole race thing, and Joe Biden tried to ruin Clarence Thomas in the confirmation hearing. Back then, he was like the main.
Oh, that case I remember. I remember that the news did such an effective job that even I was a little kid and I remember that Clarence Thomas was the bad guy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, listen to this. Listen to this. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I'm saying like Anita Hill. Everybody felt bad for Anita Hill.
Can I play for you? Can I play for you the SNL cold open? Joe Biden and Clarence Thomas. This is what's his name? This is back in 1991, and it's who's the actor? Tim Meadows plays Clarence Thomas. Listen to this.
Hang on. I need a 30-second.
Sure.
I need 30 seconds. All right.
Sure.
While you said that, I rotated my phone. Let me do that again and see if that's...
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the CCP for one. Yeah. Hold on.
Do that?
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Anything?
Nope. CCP.
All right, let me try it again. Anything?
Nothing.
All right, it was not me. Okay.
Get off the phone. Get off the phone again. Swology. They're still on. What the hell?
I can't hear anything. I hear a little bit of...
I hear clicks.
Clicks? Wow, I can't hear anything. I hear a little bit of...
Maybe it's just the internet connection. Whatever.
All right.
Hold on.
So what are you playing? Remind me what you're playing for again.
This is cold open. You know, the opening skit of
SNL. Saturday Night Live.
Joe Biden questioning Clarence Thomas, played by Tim Meadows, 1991.
Turns to its coverage of the Senate Judiciary Committee hearings on the confirmation of Judge Clarence Thomas.
Gentlemen, please.
Oh, this is Kevin Nealon as Joe Biden, Delaware. Kevin Nealon, who was Norm Macdonald's best friend.
Professor Hill, I want to thank you for your presence here today. You've shown remarkable courage.
Anita Hill. My God.
Testimony. It couldn't have been easy for you, or any of us, to sit here for the last 7 hours and talk about penis size.
Yeah, they're like obsessed with it.
Or large-breasted women having sex with animals. Or pubic hairs on soft drink cans. Or oral sex. Or the black man's sexual prowess.
Bunch of pervs.
Or large-breasted women having sex with animals.
Yeah, exactly.
But we appreciate your candor.
A bunch of freaking pervs. Unbelievable. Pervs.
And we hope we can reschedule you for another session tomorrow.
They're all smiling.
Thank you, Senator.
The committee at this time would like to call Judge Clarence Thomas. Judge Thomas?
Tim Meadows. He's great.
Judge Thomas, We're sorry to have to bring you back, but as you know, some very serious allegations have been made by our previous witness.
First of all, I want to say that these proceedings are a travesty.
Well, I understand that. But you did ask Miss Hill out on a date.
Yes, I did.
And she refused.
That's correct.
How did you go about asking her out for this date?
I'm not sure I know what you mean, Senator.
Well, did you just go right up and ask her, or did you have one of her friends tell her that you thought she was cute?
I just walked right up and asked her.
Chris Farley plays like one of the senators.
Will you,
Edward Ted Kennedy. It's Phil Hartman. Ted Kennedy.
were you drunk at the time?
Were you drunk at the time? Chapter 2.
No, I was not.
But she wouldn't go out with you.
No.
Was she aware that as her boss, you could have her fired?
She must have been.
They're all like...
And she still didn't go out with you. Now, Judge Thomas, there have been charges by Professor Hill that you talked casually with her about graphic scenes in porno movies. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
And did that work? Did it break the ice?
No, Senator, it actually offended her.
They're all like, oh my god, what the hell? Strong third. Howell Heflin, Alabama. Chris Farley.
I can't hear what you're saying. I can hear that.
Mainly spoke about a favorite
Chris
of mine.
Farley plays this guy Howell Heflin, some fat Alabama Democrat guy.
Called the Heimlich maneuver. That's a good movie, George. But do you think hardcore porno is the way to go? Because I feel women prefer softer porn.
Oh my god.
Senator Thurman?
I agree with you.
Dana Carvey.
That's right. The women like something with more stories and costumes that'll transport them to another place in time. That's right. Their inhibitions are often loosened by escape when they are allowed to fantasize in another era. Women don't like close-ups or oversized genitalia. They're just never gonna turn them on.
Tom Thurman.
The funniest thing to me is how funny you think it is. I'm enjoying it.
No, because he looks hilarious also. It's like he
Yeah,
does...
but I'm not seeing it.
Out on your boat for some reason. Another good thing is to get them out on your boat for some reason.
Ted Kennedy.
Oh, that's a Kennedy. That's a Kennedy.
Because then it's really hard for them to get away.
Do you have a question, Senator Kennedy?
Yes, I do. Have you ever tried coming out of the bathroom nude and acting like you didn't know someone was there? No. Well, that's too bad, because that works too.
Unbelievable.
Judge.
This is Al Franken, who ended up being a senator in real life later, playing Senator Paul Simon of Illinois.
Judge Thomas,
he was a senator in Minnesota, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so that's the senator that Manus Friedman was talking about.
Oh, yeah?
In his last.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like, there's a senator
more
who
lakes.
became a
There's
Jewish guy who became
There's more lakes than Jews in Minnesota. That's the guy.
Yeah. He goes, there's more lakes in Minnesota than Jews, right?
Yeah. Oh, let me just play.
Division of our government known as the Criminal Justice Department.
Of course I am, Senator.
Well, you know when you walk in the main entrance of the Criminal Justice Building, there's this receptionist with short brown hair.
The one at the third desk on the left?
No. The one at the big circular desk right there in the center there.
Oh, yes, Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy. Do you think she'd go out with me?
Senator Simon, not knowing your technique, I feel it would be unfair for me to prejudge your chances with her.
Uh-huh. You think it's the bow tie then, huh?
Senator Simon.
Women just don't like the bow tie, do they?
The bow tie.
Senator Simon, please.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Judge Thomas, I'd like to thank you for your testimony. You've been very forthcoming, and may I say, it's been an education.
Thank you, Senator.
The committee calls its next witness. Sir, would you please state your name?
Chris Rock.
Long Dong Silver.
It's Chris Rock with a Jerry curl. Chris Rock with a Jerry curl.
Mr. Silver, we apologize for calling you back one more time, but
porn star.
Many of us on the committee are admirers of your work, and, well, frankly, we could just listen to you all day. Now, we understand you have a statement.
Yes, I do. Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Dude, they made fun of all Democrats in this skit. This is what SNL used to be. They made fun of Democrats. All the people, except for like one, Strom Thurmond, who used to be a Democrat. Technically, basically, they were all Democrats. But they made fun of these people. But can I play for you the real clip of Clarence Thomas responding to... what's his face?
Yeah, I think it's the only way to fix that, what you just played.
Why?
Well, because that's the impression that people got.
Yeah,
before I understood politics, I thought he was the bad guy.
Yeah, no, but they show that he's not the bad guy. If anything, they show that these guys are obsessed with whatever. So, okay, let me just Clarence Thomas. Okay, whatever, blah blah blah, this and that, blah blah blah.
Here to come to order. I'll be asking questions.
He was like the leader of this
on
whole
this side, and
situation.
then you'll back off. Start to just point out by the ranking member. Other senators may have questions as asked between Professor Hill's testimony and yours. And you've indicated that you have no desire or willingness, and I've agreed that to go into other aspects than those that have been alleged in your personal life. We have a witness before us, had a witness before us, who is a tenured professor at a law school, whom you say that you viewed exactly how the committee viewed her prior to her coming forward, and I suspect many subsequent to her coming forward, as a credible person. We have two very credible people with very, very diverse positions on an issue that if we could ever find a way, and I know of no way, that no one in the whole world that I'm aware of, at least involved in this process,
What the hell is he mumbling
finds
about?
enjoyable.
So,
And rather than ask you to go through her allegations, which you have categorically denied, and my colleagues, Senator Hatch and Heflin,
You know what? Can I just
Good
play for
morning,
you?
Judge.
This is the part where he goes back. Here, listen to this.
Yeah.
Welcome to the blinding light.
Yeah, this is it. His son had to watch
Finding
this.
out what you mean when you say that you would apply the natural law philosophy to the Constitution is, in my view, the single most important task of this committee.
Senator Biden was very focused on natural law. How did that go?
Who knows? I have no idea what he was talking about.
I just want to make sure we all know what we're talking about here. That you and I know at least what we're talking about here. There's a fervent,
Wait, that was
and
Biden?
aggressive school of thought.
Yeah, dude, he was.
I didn't know that.
Dude, he was sharp. You could say that he didn't know what he's talking about. Pardon my language, but
No, I'm not. I'm saying that whoever, I didn't think that was Biden.
That's Biden.
He's so stupid.
Dude, that's 30 years ago. Listen.
I know. What a... God, what a
let's keep listening. Let's keep listening.
That wishes to see natural law further inform the Constitution than it does now. Argued against by the positivist led by Judge Bork. Now again, that may be lost on all the people. You know and I know what we're talking about.
I have to be perfectly honest with you. You sit there and you have no idea what they are talking about. All I know is that he was asking me these questions about natural law.
Someone may apply it in a way, like Moore, who leads him in a direction that is, quote, liberal. You may apply it in a way that leads you in a direction that's conservative. Or you may, like many argue, not apply it at all. But it is a fundamental question that's going to be almost impossible for non-lawyers to grasp in an exchange. But you know and I know it is a big, big deal. And in conclusion,
one of the things you do in hearings is you have to sit there and look attentively at people you know have no idea what they're talking about.
Exactly.
And it was fine. I understood what he was trying to do. I didn't really appreciate it. Natural law was nothing more than a way of tricking me into talking about abortion.
Yeah.
Since many Catholic moral philosophers saw the two things as intimately related. But my interest in natural law was different.
Whether a president can unilaterally deny, you're not going to answer yes or no.
Well, Senator, you've asked a couple different questions about what the president might be able to unilaterally do, and I think that I really can't say anything more than I'm not going to answer hypotheticals.
It strains originalism. If the clear wording of the Constitution establishes a right and you will not acknowledge it.
Well, Senator, it would strain the canons of conduct, which don't permit me to offer off-the-cuff reactions or any opinions outside of the judicial decision-making process. It would strain Article 3, which prevents me from deciding legal issues outside the context of cases and controversies, and as Justice Ginsburg said, it would display disregard for the whole judicial process.
So then let's take it to the case we've discussed before.
So listen to this. So now... 1 second.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Because they were just trying to show how...
To me, what the hell are you talking about?
What?
Can you explain to me and to the folks at
They
home?
were basically this clip was trying to show how this is like been a 30-year process of the Democrats whenever they talk to a conservative judge, up for confirmation, how they try to coax an answer out of them about abortion. Literally an answer.
Right.
During the confirmation, which they cannot give. They're not allowed to give that during the confirmation. They can give it. They can decide on it in when they're during the judicial process as a judge. They cannot give an answer. They can't even so much as hint to what where they hold. If you want, you can go look at where they stand personally, but that's something else. But okay, so. But at these hearings, they can't give an answer to that.
Okay, so this was a confirmation.
Yes.
I thought this had something to do with him being grilled about Anita Hill.
He was being grilled about Anita Hill during his confirmation to the Supreme Court. They did the same thing to this guy. That's what I'm saying. This is what they do. They did the same thing to this guy. What's his name?
Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh, yeah.
It's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That was the case. I thought those were two separate things. I thought he was already a Supreme Court judge when that whole thing occurred.
Yeah.
Wow. Mind blown.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to change gears.
Can I just play you one more thing? With this is a 40-second clip of Clarence Thomas explaining himself in general, like explaining what this is, what's going on.
Did not occur.
When it came time for him to publicly respond to the allegations, Thomas turned the tables on his interrogators and, for all intents and purposes, ended the debate.
This is a circus. It's a national disgrace. It is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves. And it is a message that unless you kowtow to an old order, you will be lynched, destroyed, caricatured by a committee of the U.S. Senate rather than hung from a tree.
Boom. There's nothing they can say to that.
Wow.
There's nothing they can say to that. Unbelievable.
And then they basically hadn't touched him from that point on, right?
Yep.
He was like...
Yeah, he just got confirmed. Dude, you have to understand something. This was in the context or backdrop of 4 years prior to that, Ronald Reagan nominated Judge Bork, B-O-R-K. And Judge Bork was a brilliant, genius, gaon, hacham, I'm saying all these words, obviously lahavdil, in terms of constitutional law, and like for, in the Gentile world, America, he was like the Gadol Hador of that realm, this Bork guy. The problem is,
his name was Bork?
B-O-R-K, yeah. The problem is that
name.
The problem is that he was an impalatable persona. He was like just not a palatable guy. He wasn't a guy you could parade in front of the media. He just was very disagreeable. He was very argumentative. He made these senators look like clowns. And so even the Republican ones were just kind of like, he was just abrasive. He was like sandpaper, the guy. Even when the Republicans came at him with certain things, he was just kind of like, dictator, the debil. And so basically he was withdrawn. But he probably would have been one of the best Supreme Court justices had he been confirmed. So now, after that, Daddy Bush, Reagan's ex-vice president, who's now president, brings Clarence Thomas, the first black, actually I'm talking about the second one, after Thurgood Marshall. That's where they get the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund or whatever for the black kids.
Yeah.
So he's got the second one. And they were just like, yo, we can't have a black conservative justice. Let's find some dirt. So they found it. They found this Anita Hill thing, And sometimes I feel like Bush just paraded him, purposely just to make black conservatives feel, like they should not pop their heads out. What is that noise?
Yeah.
What is that noise? Ching Chang Chong, get off the phone.
Well, there is a.
Oh, your wife is.
My wife's in the kitchen.
Okay, fine.
Does it sound like water running? Because that's.
It just sounded like something, and then yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay. So basically, but he survived this whole ordeal. Obviously, he got confirmed. He survived it. He, you saw he turned the tables, and people, as soon as he said, this is worse than hanging me from a tree, then I guess the media was just kind of like, whoa, okay.
I'm glad. Kavanaugh wouldn't have said something like that.
Of course he wouldn't have.
Like these guys, they're so.
Yeah. They're pussies.
It's not good to be that
nice.
To be, it's not proper to be that proper.
And by the way, Clarence Thomas,
you're letting us all down because you're like that.
Yeah, and dude, I don't know if this was before or after the whole thing with hell's his name, Rodney King, but I guess there was this mentality of like people felt bad, about Rodney King, so he just kind of like probably just. Yeah, this was after, I think after Rodney King, because this is October, and Rodney King was, I think, in the summer. Oh no, I'm sorry, Rodney King happened, in March. So this is like, 7 months after Rodney King, and Clarence Thomas is like, yo, you're nominating a black man. And Clarence Thomas is not like one of these, he's like a black guy, he's like a real, you know what I'm saying? Like Clarence
yeah, right. He's like a real black dude. He's not.
Dude, he's from like freaking. Yeah, Georgia. You know, the guy's from Georgia, and he
That's
went.
like Atlanta, where black people are from, according to Mr. Robinson.
Atlanta. Oh, actually, it's he's from Savannah. That's even deeper south of Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, see, it says black community near Savannah founded by freedmen after this. Oh, so he's like this. He has this Misora of blacks who do not adhere to the white man. What is that noise again? Is that the water?
It is water, but now that's from the washing machine.
Okay, fine. He was the second.
My wife has assaulted our podcast from every angle.
This is like a little bit. Yes, he says they were descendants of American slaves, and the family spoke Gula as a first language. Gula language is Creole, spoken by the Gula people, African American population living in coastal regions of South Carolina and Georgia, and northeastern Florida, and the extremes.
I think Jim Brown is from one of those. Hold on a second. Go ahead, turn it on. It's fine, okay? I want you to go turn the blender on while you're at it. All right.
Yeah, Jim Brown is from St. Simon's Island. He's like from one of those places, yeah. So it says Thomas's earliest known ancestors were slaves named Sandy and Peggy, who were born in the late 18th century and owned by wealthy planter Josiah Wilson of Liberty County, Georgia. Thomas's father left the family when Thomas was 2 years old. Though Thomas's mother worked hard, she was sometimes paid only pennies per day and struggled to earn enough money to feed the family, and was sometimes forced to rely on charity. After a house fire left him homeless, Thomas and his younger brother Myers were taken to live in Savannah with his maternal grandparents, Myers and Christine Anderson. Thomas then experienced amenities such as indoor plumbing and regular meals for the first time. Myers Anderson had little formal education. But
he's an old dude. He's probably in his 80s now, right?
Clarence Thomas is, I will tell you, 73. I thought he was old. Yeah.
Oh, so he's not old. He's like my dad, right?
Yeah, he's not that old. Here. Yeah, he helped his family farm every day from sunrise to sunset. Anderson believed in hard work and self-reliance and counseled the children to never let the sun catch you in bed. He also impressed upon his grandson the importance of a good education. Hold on a second.
Never let the sun catch you in bed. I like that.
Yeah, like wake up before the sun rises. That's pretty cool. It's like the southern, this like, never let the sun catch you in bed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Here you go. In 1975, when Thomas read economist Thomas Sowell, Race and Economics, he found an intellectual foundation for his philosophy. The book criticizes social reform by government and argues for individual action to overcome circumstances and adversity. Ayn Rand's work also influenced him, particularly The Fountainhead, and he later required...
Ayn Rand, right.
Yeah. He later required his staffers to watch the 1949 film version of the novel. Thomas acknowledges some very strong libertarian leanings. Thomas has said novelist Richard Wright is the most influential writer in his life. Wright's books Native Son and Black Boy captured a lot of the feelings that I had inside that you learn how to repress. Native Son and Ralph Ellerson's Invisible Man are Thomas's two favorite novels. Spike Lee's films also appeal to Thomas, particularly Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X. Thomas has said he would like to meet Lee. I don't know when this was. I guess it was at that time, back when Spike Lee was just trying to do movies for like consciousness as opposed to like woke crap.
Before he became a troglodyte.
Yeah, exactly. And a rich MFer sitting on the floor seats at the Knicks. Dude, Spike Lee got so incensed when they dared to not let him. They used to let him through, the back way in the Madison Square Garden, and then Dolan didn't let him go through the aristocratic pathway to the Madison Square Garden. So Spike Lee's like, I'm never coming back to MSG ever again. Like privilege, this how dare you make me go in the elevator with the rest of the heathen, Here. Okay, I just want to play this. This is actually quite funny. Here. Let's check this out. Explains incident in Madison Square Garden. There you go. Pretty nice damn ads. See, ESPN, the freaking Disney, they have to make money on you at every turn.
Dude, Thomas Sowell is like 92.
That guy's a legend, man. He's a legend. Yeah, listen to this.
Man, I hope he stays with us.
Circulating online showing Lee yelling at the garden security outside of an elevator, leading to that he was saying he was thrown out of the arena, but a Knicks spokesman said that was untrue, that it was simply an issue of Lee using
I never said I was thrown out of the arena. I don't know how that got in there. This is Garden Spin. Thanks for having me. And this
Black Klansman was great, by the way. I haven't seen you since then.
Thank you.
What happened?
It was a terrible experience. When I went home last night in the cab, I said I'm gonna let it chill. And then my son read me the statement by the garden. I said, nah, it's Spin. Here's the story. I've been coming. The last 28 years, I've used one entrance.
28 years.
28 years. Plus, my wife reminded me last night, said, we've been married 26 years and we dated a year before that.
And they were hot garbage most of those 28 years.
Not at the beginning.
Yeah,
that's what my wife
Go ahead. What happened?
So, I've been using the same entrance for 28 plus years. The employees' entrance on 33rd Street.
Employees? He's not an employee.
Yesterday, last night, I go in, my ticket gets scanned. I'm in. I walk into the elevator, go in the elevator, and also people having their ticket scanned also. And elevator's not moving. And the security guy comes to me and said, we need you to get off the elevator. I said, for what? So we could speak about it now. I said, I'm not getting out of the elevator. So it's another 5 minutes, then they finally send the elevator up because they know I'm not getting out the elevator. Get on the elevator, as you know, people don't know, the garden floor is on the 5th floor. I'll go up to 5, and security's waiting for you like he just ran out of Macy's stealing something. And they said, this guy, security guy, this comes from the top. He says, Mr. Lee, you
get off the phone, ching chang chong.
Have to leave Madison Square Garden. They wanted me to leave the garden, walk outside, out to 33rd Street, employee office where I came from, walk outside, and come back on 31st Street. And I said, I'm not doing that. First of all, you scan my ticket. You can't scan a ticket twice. Also, I know that once you leave a sporting arena event, you can't come back in. So I don't trust these guys, so I'm not going for the okie doke.
Also, why are you taking a perp walk? For what?
Let me just get it.
Let me finish.
Okay.
So I said, I'm not leaving. Then they said, we want you to leave the garden. I put my hands behind my back, and I said, arrest me like my brother Charles Oakley. Then I got in here. There's some brothers I know. I grew up in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. They said, Spike, butter. They said, Spike, this is some crazy stuff. But if we take you in the elevator and go to the 6th floor, and outside the garden, go to the 6th floor, we'll walk you to your seat. I said, bet. So at halftime, Dolan comes over to me and says, we need to talk. I said, talk about what? We need to talk. I said, Mr. Dolan, I don't want to talk about nothing. I've been coming through this entrance for 28 years. Plus, Wednesday, historic event, the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. They had a Broadway, they took The Killer Mockingbird and had a performance for 18,000 New York City public kids. Amazing event. Where did I go in? The employee entrance. That was Wednesday. So if they want to change this whole new policy talk about, and at first they never said when the thing changed. So
you gotta stop this.
Yeah.
Why not call?
Basically, the guy's not an employee. He was given some sort of privilege.
I took as much of Spike Lee as I could listen to.
Yeah.
You know what? The whole time he was complaining and whining, like a rich, entitled Democrat, right? It reminded me of that Bill Burr routine, where I think it was Bill Burr. He was making fun of the CNN reporters, like during one of the wars, probably the first or the second Gulf War, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because back in the day, people really had to kind of like in World War II, the reporters, they really had to risk their lives. Or in Vietnam, you get your head shot off, right?
Can I play?
CNN during the Gulf War.
Dude, I could just play it. I could just play this.
You know which one I'm talking about? You can find it?
Yeah, I found it.
He's like, I ordered a sandwich, slathered, Bernie. It came slathered in mayonnaise.
Yeah. Here, this is...
All right.
You know, my mother-in-law comes over to help watch the kids, and she always puts on CNN. And do you know what those fucking morons are doing? Do you know what those fucking morons are doing? They're fucking talking about Trump. I swear to God, I cannot believe people watch that channel. They're so dumb. It's like, do you think these people give a fuck? They want Darth Vader to come back. They want him to come back because they got nothing to talk about because it's show business. And Joe Biden is a fucking bore. They can't bitch about him because he's wearing a blue tie. So now what do? They're going out there, they're doing what they did the first time to get this guy elected by giving him all this free coverage while they act like they allegedly don't like him. I don't buy it. They're a corporate news channel, and they're fucking treasonous, un-American pieces of shit, just like Fox News, MSNBC, just like all of them.
You know,
just
Bill
like
Burr
fucking all of them.
is a fucking idiot sometimes. I apologize.
Why?
I mean, the stuff that he says is so ass backwards every now and then. You know what I mean? Like, his view of things is so stupid.
Yeah.
But he's funny when he talks about, like, he has really no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
Okay? But, because I listened to him so much. It's been a while since I listened to him. But he was talking about the Gulf War.
Yeah.
He's talking about these reporters that tried to...
Yeah.
They were trying to make things more dramatic than they really were. Fake news. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? So he was like, you know, you have this reporter who's reporting, like, I'm in Baghdad, right?
Yeah.
He goes, I'm in the hotel, Bernie. I ordered a sandwich.
Yeah.
I asked for mustard, and it came with mayonnaise, or Bernie slathered in mayonnaise. You know what I mean? Like, that was the war. That was a war experience, right? And the way that they are, you know, over dramatizing everything that they're going through is just it's that's fake news, man. You know?
I think I found it, by the way. It's Iraq Stories here.
Okay.
One second.
All right.
I want to see if this is
Iraq/Mando Scene. All right. Hi, Bill. First, I'd like to say that I'm glad I finally decided to check out your podcast a couple months ago. Oh, thank you for doing that. It's been my go-to podcast ever since and has gotten me through lots of long nights at work. I'll try to keep this next part short, as I'm sure you're sick of hearing this already. But your performance in Season 2 of The Mandalorian was nothing short of amazing. I'll never get sick of that. As a comedian, to have anybody compliment my acting, it's fucking amazing. I really felt the pain of Mayfeld during the table scene because I served as infantry in the Iraq War during 2006, and needless to say, those were some interesting times. Jesus Christ. I can't imagine going out on patrol and every time you take a step, you're thinking, am I going to lose my leg? Right before we deployed to Iraq, my platoon got a new platoon leader, LT, whatever that means. And this guy was a piece of work. He was all about God and country to the point that if George W. asked him to beat his pregnant wife to death, the only question from him would be if he could use his bare hands or use a crowbar. Jesus Christ. During the deployment, our fearless leader decided to disobey an order to stay off a road that was deemed too dangerous to travel on. Needless to say, this action resulted in the meaningless death of one of my friends during an IED explosion.
This is the wrong direction.
Never mind.
I was trying to find some kind of funny routine, but anyway, whatever. I mean, I massacred it, but I gave you the basic idea.
Anyway, yeah.
This guy, Spike Lee. You could just listening to him, to his like the vapidity. This new word that we discovered is shocking.
Yeah.
Okay, he's acting like he was literally like, you know, like what's his name? Was a guy Mendel Bayless? You know,
the hell?
Like, he was like
Mendel Bayless.
He was fighting off a blood libel.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was acting like he was like, oh my god, wrongfully imprisoned. These people, man, they're evil.
Yeah.
Okay. At some point, you become evil. Like when that level of self-centeredness there's no way that anybody like that does good with their day.
Yeah. I know.
Okay? That sounds like a mafia guy.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, except in a wimpy way.
I'm coming into the employee entrance all the time, and I wasn't going to get on that elevator.
Yeah, you disrespect me like this, I've been coming here.
They try to pull old okey doke.
What are you trying to do? You want to make me look bad in front of my family?
Consigliere. Yeah, old okey doke. I can't come in here. They'll scan it twice. Tony 2 times. Hey, Tony. Oh. They've been stinking up the place for 28 years, and I support them. And now this is how they repay me, the family.
This is how you treat me. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know.
Freaking Dolan. Yeah.
It's a criminal. Like you could study that. You know, that mindset, that psychology. You could listen to the criminality of these people. I don't know if that's a word. Criminality.
Yeah, it is for sure. For sure, it's a word.
I mean, I don't know if I use it in the right way, but
use it
y'all know what I mean. Okay, so it's upsetting. It's upsetting that this exists. You know, this guy. Remember, he was doxing people.
Yeah.
Who was he doxing?
Who did Spike Lee dox?
It was a cop, right? It was like something. This was like during one of those like. I don't remember if it was like Robert.
Yeah,
Zimmerman.
Robert Zimmerman. Or George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman, right?
Yeah.
Robert Zimmerman is Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, so, crazy. But I want to change gears, okay? I want to get away from all this political angst, okay? And this bitterness. And we exposed our audience to Bill Burr. That's like a cup of salt water. Listening to that guy, you know what I mean? Like that's bitter.
Yes.
Okay. And we can have a taste for that now and then, but we don't want to push that on everybody. Okay, so I wanted to change gears entirely, and this is a whole different world.
Okay.
Remember how I was telling you when I first watched David Icke?
Yes.
Right. So I learned this is my new technique. When I had a lot of time to do research, right? I would listen to the craziest, story. You know, Bigfoot, whatever. Doesn't matter, right? Yeah. And obviously, I don't believe anything that I hear.
Yeah.
Okay? But I take the claim, right? And I try to find the most legitimate people associated with this thing. There's always a couple of legitimate people who were involved in the topic. I read what they're claiming. Right? Yeah. And then I start deconstructing the claim. And I wanted to give you an example of what I do, what I did. I wish I had more time for this. But hold on a second. And I think it would be useful. And it's also related to what we're talking about lately. Yeah. Okay? The toolies. Yeah. If I can only find the damn page. Sheet. Damn it. Damn it, Beavis. 1 second. Where the hell is
Damn
it?
it, Beavis?
Yeah.
Fire.
Damn it.
Fire. Shut up.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Just for that, I have to play.
I got it.
Okay, fine. I was going to play a Beavis and Butthead clip, but I'm not going to do that.
No.
Jamie, pull it up.
All right, here we go. Man, we got to get a good Jamie one day.
By the way, can I read to you an awesome response on our Hazars episode?
They never...
Oops.
Sure.
This guy wrote, consider this logic. If the Ashkenazi Jews were really Hazars, and if that meant that they weren't really Jews, and if Hitler was exterminating Ashkenazim, then this would be a claim that Hitler never killed Jews and wasn't anti-Semitic. Of course, that's absurd. Right.
That doesn't make too much sense.
Yes.
He should have stopped that.
Yeah.
Well, we can claim that Hitler never succeeded at killing those we wanted to kill.
Yeah.
That's about, I thought that's where he was going.
Yeah.
But he went a little
off the somewhere. Anyway.
Okay, this is an overview of a book which is called The Secret Lost Diary of Admiral Richard E. Byrd.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay, and the Phantom of the Poles.
There we go. Okay.
And we're not talking about Poland.
The Phantom of the Poles here.
This is written by Tim Swartz, Commander X, and William Reed. I don't know who Commander X is. I don't know who any of these guys are. Okay, and this book is obviously self-published. You know what I mean? But it's on Barnes and Noble.
Commander X is a hacktivist fugitive who was arrested in Mexico.
Commander X, hacktivist fugitive.
He's part of Anonymous, and he was arrested in Mexico. Interesting.
Are you serious? This is a real guy?
He's a fugitive homeless hacker. Yes.
Oh my God!
And
I guess this is the guy.
And
this is the guy who procured the diary.
Yeah, he wrote
allegedly.
He wrote a bunch of books called "Incredible Technologies of the New World Order," UFOs, Tesla, Area 51, The Commander X Files, Identifying the Real Commander X, Underground Alien Bases, Flying Saucers Come from Inside the Earth, Reality of the Serpent Race and Subterranean Origins of UFOs.
Okay, you're getting too advanced.
This
here.
is all his books: Behind the Mask and Inside Look and Anonymous, Time Travel, Fact Not Fiction.
This is exactly the guy I'm looking for.
Nikola Tesla, Free Energy and the White Dove. These are all his book. My God, there's a whole.
All right. So here, so this is the overview of the book because we talked about Admiral Byrd yesterday. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
Overview: Explore a strange land kept hidden from the public. Here, for the first time, is the secret diary of one of the greatest adventurers who had ever lived, Admiral Byrd. Plus, proof that there is a vast, uncharted civilization that exists inside the planet. This is, by the way, so far aligned with the Torah. So far. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that this guy, I'm just saying that it's an interesting, when you come from a Torah background, I can't even say that, but if you come from the background where Torah is your ultimate authority, right? It's a different experience. Okay? You might want to ask, if somebody's just tuning in for the first time, why would I care? Why is the Torah my ultimate authority? Then you got to look into the math of the Torah, codes, gematrias, and all that kind of stuff to understand it, and then come back, and then you understand why I'm saying it. Okay? So, listen to me. I'm pretending like people listen. In the year 1947, Admiral Richard E. Byrd made a flight into the South Polar region of the world. Okay, we talked about that. Before he started on the venture, Byrd made a mysterious statement. I think this is true, by the way. I'd like to see that land beyond the pole. That area beyond the pole in the center of the great unknown. Okay? I have to confirm that. I think it's real. Okay. In the cockpit of his plane was a powerful two-way radio. When Byrd and his scientific companions took off from their base at the South Pole, they managed to fly 1,700 miles beyond it. That's when the radio in Byrd's plane was put into use to report something utterly incredible. There is a strange, great valley below them. Remember, this is the pole. You hear this?
Yeah.
And for some unknown reason, the valley Byrd saw was not ice covered as it should have been in the frigid Antarctic. It was green and luxuriant. There were mountains with thick forests of trees on them. There was lush grass and underbrush. Most amazing, a huge animal was observed moving through the underbrush. In a land of ice, snow, and almost perpetual deep freeze, there was a stupendous mystery. Okay, Byrd had discovered a strange great valley just beyond the South Pole where the weather temperature, believe it or not, was evidently something like 75 degrees. Okay. Suddenly, the press and radio were hushed up. After the first brief messages leaked through to the newspaper, no further confirmation of the big discovery was given. Was it merely a hoax? Some newsman's joke? I think not. I believe that Byrd came upon the location of a great doorway or an entrance leading deep into the unknown interior of the Earth, the great door at the South Pole region. Having found that, it is believed that he gets no longer. He then knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that this secret door must open into the cavern world. Okay, interesting. He would go there and find out, see for himself the wonder and everlasting mystery of the unknown inner earth. Okay. Here is the long-rumored missing diary of Admiral Byrd, which tells exactly what Byrd and his men discovered. Why have we not been permitted this information? Why is it that some have been warned not to talk about what has been discovered? Okay, so now there's a list of questions that this book addresses. Okay, this is perfect. This is exactly what I look for.
Yeah.
Okay, this is 2 books in one. In addition to the text of Admiral Byrd's diary, is a rare, long-lost manuscript by William Reed, who puts forward his theory that we live on the outside of a hollow globe. Based upon the journals of various seafarers who have explored the regions around the poles, Reed puts forward the following questions. Okay, number 1. Why is the Earth flattened at the poles? He's not saying flat Earth. He goes, why isn't it like imagine like you have a ball, but then you smush the the pole, you smush it a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay. So why is the Earth flattened at the poles? Well, I mean, even like I was taught that even in science class, like in high school, saying it's because of the the spin of the Earth, the gravity kind of like extends, it widens the Earth. It's not a perfect sphere. That's their explanation. Okay.
Yeah.
So why is the Earth flattened at the poles? Why have the poles never been reached? Why does the sun not appear for so long in winter near the supposed poles? Okay. I guess this is a very old list, by the way. Like this is sort of like William Reed was from a certain point. Okay. Now, assuming that the Earth is hollow, the interior should be warmer. Okay. We must now resort to the compass. Does it refuse to work when drawing near the supposed poles? Meteors are constantly falling near the supposed poles. Why? The next query is concerning the great quantities of dust constantly found in the Arctic. I've confirmed that, by the way. That's the one thing that I've confirmed so far.
Yeah.
Okay? There's like huge quantities of dust, and it's not clear where it comes from. Some people say Asia, but there's no conclusive. Anyway, so what causes this dust? Okay, what produces the aurora borealis? You know what that is, right? Like the beautiful, the northern lights, right?
Yes.
Okay, icebergs are next in order. Where are they formed and how? What causes tidal waves? What causes colored snow in the Arctic region? Why are the nights so long in the polar regions? What causes the great ice pressure in the Arctic Ocean during still tide and calm weather? Why is the ice filled with rock, gravel, and sand? Okay, so supposedly the answer to when you answer these questions, you find out things related to the inner Earth and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and secret civilizations. Fine. So this isn't even the most like exciting kind of like example of what I was talking about. But see, you can take this list and the claims that we read above that, right?
Okay.
And you could start working backwards. You could say, okay, so let's see if we can find out whether or not that message that apparently that Admiral Byrd, where he was quoted, which let me find it again.
Okay.
Right, where it said, the hell is it? Then when birds were suddenly, how come I can't find stuff when I need it?
Because
I'd like to see that land beyond the pole, that area beyond the pole in the center of the great unknown. So I'm going to start with that because that to me that's the most interesting thing that I've read. Right? I'm going to see if I can find if he actually made that statement.
Yeah.
If I can find it. Okay. That's how I would go about. Like this is a hobby that I had, and in the process of doing this, you find out the most amazing things.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, you don't come into this assuming that what you're reading is true.
Yeah.
But you test it. Why not? Give it a chance.
Yeah.
There was a guy. They called him the Rocket Man. Really sad story that actually kind of like made me choke up a little bit. This is a guy. Have you heard about this guy? The Rocket Man?
Depends.
He's a flat earther. Okay.
Okay.
he died recently, like last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there is a documentary called Rocket Man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's a poor guy who had a curiosity. He had a simple principle that he lived by, that he doesn't believe anything that he's told, right?
Yeah.
About the earth, about anything, right?
Yeah.
He assumes it's all lies, and he wanted to see for himself whether the claim that the earth was round or flat. So he had a dream that he's going to build a rocket.
He fell off. Yeah, he fell off a cliff. He flew off a cliff or something like that.
I'm not sure if it was a cliff, but so he's done this several times, right? And in order to finance the building of the rocket, he had to kind of, turn it into kind of an entertainment event.
Yeah.
To kind of, it's very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Sure.
Guy, obviously a little bit unhinged, a little bit, uneducated, but when you watch the documentary, you get the sense that he just wanted such a simple thing.
Yeah.
You had a simple man who everybody treated like garbage.
Yeah.
Okay? He was literally treated like garbage by his children.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether or not he deserved it. That's not the point.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. But in the process of trying to cut through the Sitra Achra, that's what I call the Sitra Achra, right? Yeah. This thick layer of horseshit that we live in, right?
Yeah.
He just wanted a simple. He wanted to experience a simple truth.
Yeah.
He wanted to spit the garbage out.
Yeah.
Right? The crap that we're forced to eat.
Yeah.
And it's so hard and it's so sad that you couldn't even give him that for a second.
Yeah.
Why could after the first 3 times where he seriously injured himself, right?
Yeah.
And broke his body, right? Building his own rocket engines, right?
Yeah.
Why couldn't some fucking Tesla or one of these Virgin Galactic pricks just take him up?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was in the news. He made a splash. He's obviously, you know what I mean? And also, he was like a flat Earth kind of like folk hero, right?
Yeah.
So why not prove him wrong? Take him up in a rocket. There's a person who nearly killed himself 3 times because he wants to know a simple little truth. Why don't you take him up there, right?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
That would have been good PR, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
It broke my heart because he just wants a simple answer about a simple idea.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I believe the earth is round,
Yeah.
okay? Because that's what it says in the Gemara, in the Talmud.
Yeah.
Okay? And also, there have been confirmation. There's stuff that you could look at on a telescope. You know, you could get a telescope. I'm not saying that what he did was intelligent. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But the basic principle was sound. He's like, I don't believe you. I want to know for myself.
He wants to confirm for himself.
Right?
So, very simple. Hello?
And that's really, and the way that he was attacked,
Yeah.
like he got such like ire from, he got death threats. He got all this crazy shit. He got he had a limousine. Like the way that he actually made a living for himself, he had like a limousine or like a taxi.
Yeah.
And there was some kind of bureaucratic nonsense. They confiscated it. They wouldn't give it back to him. And when during the documentary, like he was on the phone with the office, the bureaucracy that he needed to talk to get his car back.
Yeah.
And you saw him getting treated like human trash.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why am I telling you all this?
Yeah.
Because when you try to get to any level of truth, right? When you try to make personal contact with it,
yeah.
the beast of the machine will be activated against.
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead. Try to go see something with your own eyes. Why not?
Yeah.
Right? So with this in mind, with this kind of like attitude, you can't end up like this guy, right? Because they'll kill you.
Yeah.
Okay? All you can really do at this point is just to listen to the claims that are outlandish, that are ridiculous, stupid, right? And most of it really is stupid. I mean, it is, okay? But listen to it and take it apart, right? If it really is so stupid, it shouldn't be able to stand up to scrutiny, right?
Yeah.
And very often you're going to be shocked that, like, hold on a second, some of this stuff, I guess, is not as crazy as we're generally told it is. So That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I hear.
Okay? And I'm sad about Rocket Man. I'm very sad about Rocket Man.
Can I tell you? That's hilarious.
So, what else? What else should we cover? What other problems? What's on your mind, Greg? Let's talk about you.
Let's talk about me.
Yeah.
Well.
I haven't asked you about that girl in a while. Maybe I shouldn't ask you on here.
Which one? What are you talking about?
Oh, we shouldn't talk about it. We shouldn't talk about it. You were seeing a girl occasionally that
Oh, I think that ended. That ended.
I assumed. I just wasn't.
Yeah, unfortunately. But it's interesting. Like there's women that listen to us.
Oh damn! I forgot that.
I'm not hinting at anything. By the way, I'm just saying in general. I'm not at all.
Ladies, if I was conscious of the fact that you're listening,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to be entertaining. Seriously.
Yeah.
I gotta forget about you. No offense.
Yeah.
I gotta forget about you for you,
Yeah.
so that you can benefit from this podcast.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
No, stop. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So how do we ultimately? I mean, I guess you said we already solved this. I don't think we did solve it really.
No, so you need a reminder.
This whole.
We have to spread awareness of the Erev Rav.
Yeah.
We have to get this concept. Forget about explaining it. First, we have to get the term into the public consciousness,
Yeah.
the public awareness.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. You're a little bit better at that.
Yeah.
Than I am. You have more experience
Yeah.
with promoting stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what we got to do.
Yeah.
So what's your thinking?
What's my thinking?
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny. Roseanne Barr is really big on illuminating this whole thing for the world, and she's been on it for like white on rice for a very, very long time.
She said Erev Rav?
That's all she's talking about, the Erev Rav, and what is it, the Sabbateans.
Really?
All the time, dude. I told you this all the time.
No,
She's obsessed with this.
She says Erev Rav.
She says Erev Rav all the time. She uses the term Erev Rav.
That's wow. Man,
She calls the fake left the Erev Rav, whatever. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Dude, we gotta have a chat.
We have to get her on. I've been trying. You know that our friend Lowell, the guy that got your brother to be, or got me, whatever, on a show with your brother. So he's been trying to get, dude. That's why I say, whatever. This is a private conversation, but like I lost her number, the kids are, but anyway, he's been trying to get her kind of in touch or whatever it is.
So that's your connection, dude. Talk to Lowell.
Yeah.
I want to talk to her about the Erev Rav.
Yeah.
I have a podcast with Dr. Zelenko's brother.
Yeah.
And if she'd be interested, can you ask her, please? Right?
Yeah, she's just a little. He even told me, which I know this. She's a little bit of a recluse kind of person,
Yeah.
She gets into reclusive states. There's issues with her health. She should be well. Like Fuchlema.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I would love to. Get her on the show and talk about this whole thing. She's very, very opinionated, and she's very like, how should I put this? She sometimes can get a little bit aggressive.
Aggressive.
Like, meaning, like, if she says something and word is bond, my man, and you say, like, something that's, kind of, like, not in line
not as
with...
aggressive?
No, not in line with what she's saying, she'll be like, no, that's what this is, and you don't know, that kind of stuff. It's just very funny. It's like, I almost kind of like...
Well, I disagree.
It's actually endearing. Like, I don't, like, take offense to it. I don't get upset when she does that. I think it's endearing, and, I think it's just great that she's an A-list celeb. I said this many times, and I stand by this. She's an A-list celebrity. This is a person who can traverse in and out. She has hacked. She's been able to, I don't want to say hack the Sitra Achra, but she's essentially hacked the Sitra Achra. She's able to traverse in and out of Hollywood at will. At will. If she wanted to today, she would be able to, contact who she needs to contact and slip through the cracks and come back into the consciousness of, of society, of America, of whatever, of Hollywood, if she wanted to. But she doesn't want to. She's tired. Yeah, and she would be able to transcend any amount of lashon hara from the media that they would hurl in her face. She would.
You know that term Hollywood? You ever think about it?
Yeah, you told me about this. Where it comes from?
I did.
No, it comes from what's it called? I think was it Paul that told me? It comes from.
It wasn't me. I don't think it was me. I barely.
We spoke here, or maybe I brought it up. The term Hollywood comes from it's the guy. Remember I told you this, and you said the guy's an anti-Semite or something. It comes from.
How did Hollywood get its name? I got it.
It comes from that guy, and then you were like, oh, why are you?
If you've ever, let me read this. I don't know. This is written by Courtney Holcomb in 2017. I don't know who that is. Okay. If you've, it's some chick holding a coffee, probably like Sex in the City. So let's see what happens. If you've ever wondered how the home of American cinema got its name, you've most likely come across a wide variety of explanations, all claiming to be the real story. We're here to help you sort through the rumors. Yeah, we're going to think for you. Right? We'll make the decisions for you and get down to the true story of how such a legendary name came to be. Okay. Now, once upon a time, H.J. Whitley arranged to buy 500 acres of the town we know as Hollywood. Whitley was a prominent landowner already, having already started a number of towns in the West, and today he has become known as the father of Hollywood. Later on, in 1887, Harvey H. Wilcox officially established the name Hollywood when he recorded it on the land's deed. Okay. All right. No, I don't want to sign up to your newsletter. Okay. The time in between these two events is when things seem to get a bit hazy. Okay. One of the most common rumors thrown around today is that these founders chose the name to reflect the prominent presence of a beautiful holly-like bush throughout the city. The plant was what is known today as Christmas holly, which grew rampantly throughout the Santa Monica Mountains and nearby areas. Okay. Legend claims that Whitley himself was inspired by the holly, and proposed naming the town Hollywood after it. He bought his 500 acres from E.C. Hurd, who was married to a woman who was friends with Daida Wilcox, the wife of Harvey H. Wilcox, and the name supposedly traveled down the line to reach Wilcox himself. Okay. An alternate version of the story claims that Whitley himself had nothing to do with the name, and that Daida Wilcox learned the name from her friend Ivar Weed.
The hell?
Okay. Yeah, Ivar Weed, who lived in Holly Canyon at the time, and she recommended it to her husband. Yet another version claims that Daida happened to meet a stranger on a train who lived in an Illinois state called Hollywood, and that was where she got the idea for the name. That's stupid. However, there's little to no evidence suggesting that either of these stories contain the true origins of the name. So everything that I've heard sounds like nonsense so far. Okay. Yeah. The only evidence remaining today for the name's true origins comes from a page out of the diary of Whitley himself. According to an entry, one day in 1886, Whitley was standing at the peak of a hill when a man came by with a wagon carrying wood. The man stopped to say a few polite words, explaining to Whitley that he was hauling wood. The man was a foreigner, and as such, his thick accent caused the words to sound like Hollywood. Like lodge, right? Lodge and Hollywood. Hearing these words, Whitley was inspired, deciding that Holly could represent England, while Wood could represent the Scottish origins, his Scottish origins, creating the perfect name for his new land. From there, this story reasons that the name was passed to Weed, who was a friend of Whitley's, and Weed passed it on to Nada Wilcox, who finally passed the name along to her husband. And the rest, as they say, is time I'll never get back at for reading this.
Can I play for you something else regarding Hollywood?
Is it another like explanation?
Yeah, it's a completely different. Here, hold on.
Good. No, because I heard a few more that made more sense.
Hold on.
And they were more.
I just need to.
Fantastical.
I just need to.
A lot more sense.
Here, it's. I'll probably find it on BitChute, of course.
Both Hollywood.
Hey, hold on. Where the hell? Oh God, so many of these anti-Semitic. Hold on. Okay, a name decrypted. Hold on. Is this it?
John Cusack. Hollywood is a whorehouse and people go mad. Okay.
No, hold on. Origin of Hollywood. Hold on. Origin Hollywood. Here, the Hollywood. It's from a tree, but it's like. Hold on. This is ridiculous.
Dude, I think I have a tremendous resource here that I forgot about.
Here we go. Occult. No. The holly tree. Here. There was a guy I saw. Yeah, Druids. We spoke about this, no?
No.
We didn't speak about this? Who did I speak to about this? Here you go. There's a guy. Yeah. Celtic Druids. Hold on.
Oh, okay, dude. Yeah, you were talking about Jordan Maxwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now. It's all coming back to me.
Yeah, I was like, I spoke to somebody about the. Yeah, here you go. Hollywood Magic. There we go. There you go. This guy. Yeah, I'll play it again.
I have something better.
I'll play it again for the folks at home. Play it again, Sam. No, hello.
Right. I'm listening. You want me to play
it?
No,
not you. I'm just waiting for Schmidt-Shoot to work.
Oh, okay.
It's not working. Okay, hold on. Jordan. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Come on.
I have a book called The Royal Arch of Enoch. This is a book written by a Masonic scholar, and he talks about all of these like histories. Let me see if I can find
what is
table of
going on with this
contents.
site? Hello.
Humans are not being told. We are not being told the real truth.
There we go.
And I've got a couple of things in particular I want you to know and I want you to remember. Nothing in this world, nothing works the way you think it does. There's always more to the story. You hear about some marriage breaking up, and the husband did this, the wife did that, and it's very obvious what happened. No, it's not obvious what happened. There's a lot more to the story you don't know. You don't know her background, her past. You don't know his past. You don't know what was going on in the family. You have no idea. So nothing is simple. This is why you have courts. So I found that nothing in this world operates the way you think it does. Banks do not loan money. Governments are not empowered to protect you. Police department is not there to serve you. Institutions of higher learning, colleges and educational institutes are not there to educate you. The entire superstructure of civilization in the Western world is a combination of brilliantly put together and planned, well-planned schemes to direct the minds of the people in such a way as to serve their masters. And I've known that for a long time. And one of the biggest tools in the hands of the masters who run this world is Hollywood. Hollywood is an incredible story. I've said this, and maybe many hearing me now have heard me say this, but I'll say it again, that the white man's establishment comes from Europe. And in northern, southern, well, all four, northeast, south, and western Europe, even at the time of the Roman Empire and before, that whole section of Europe that we call the center for the white man's presence on the earth was quite literally ruled over. Ancient Europe was ruled over by a priesthood called the Druids. And the Druids were they were the ministers, the priests, the judges, the lawyers, they were the religious leaders. So there was a priesthood that dominated Europe. It still does. Europe is still a Druidic country. And America is a Druidic country. And unless you understand the Druidic system, then you're never going to figure out what's going on in America and England. But one of the most important symbols in the Druid system was a magic wand, like Merlin, the magician with the magic wand. And also the orchestra leaders and conductors always have a magic wand. And you had better play to the tune of the master. He directs you to play, and he directs you to stop with the magic wand.
Oh, sorry, music.
So you're dancing to his music, okay? Magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree. It's made out of Hollywood. And Hollywood is a Druidic establishment. And the symbols, the words, the terms, the stories are designed. Think about it. Think about how Hollywood does what they do. I'm not saying they're evil. I'm just explaining how Hollywood works. You have, first of all, a story. So somebody has to write the story. All right? So now you've got a story. Now you have to give it to a screenwriter who's going to adapt that story, excuse me, adapt that story into a screenplay. Because you can't just tell the story. You have to design it to be a movie. Now, once you do that, then you're going to have the actors. Very important actors. Because you're going to need people to act the part. And so it doesn't mean that they actually have human feelings. No, they're being paid to act like they care. To act like they love someone too, as an act. And so you're paying actors to act out the part that the screenwriters have written. And you want to make sure the actors do it just right. So you have to have a director, and he's going to direct everything you say and do the way he wants it said. Then you have, of course, the producer, and he's also subjected to the executive producer who's producing the money. And so all of this is a whole system of putting together a system of a story that tells you a story. It causes you to think in terms of what you just saw, so that people go out from the movie and think in their minds, this is the way you normally would react to a situation, the way that the guy in the movie did. And so that's why today, in the Western civilization, especially in the West, our ability to work with each other and live together as humans is so screwed up. Because we've been watching so much television and so many movies, and so much silliness coming out of Hollywood, so much violence and sex and drugs and all the rest of it, that people have no idea in the world how to live anymore. They've lost their humanity.
Okay.
The hell?
Sorry, it was a video that turned on by itself.
So you're saying that in many ways, Hollywood movies and television are actually sort of doing behavior modification.
Precisely.
So he, instead of saying the Jews, he's saying the
Druids.
Druids, man, which are. And who were the Druids? Druids is a learned class among ancient Celts.
Okay.
What do you think?
I I knew I have some. Dude, you know how I learned about the Druids? Like, obviously, I knew the name Druids, but Eugene Amusin, right? Streaks, right?
Oh yes, of course I do. Our friend.
Okay.
Of course.
So when he was in Stony Brook, right? He had one of his frat brothers.
Yeah.
I think he was a frat or just a friend. I think they hung out. Yeah. There was a guy who was there. He was like this little kind of squirrely dude from Turkey. Okay, I probably shouldn't say his name.
Okay. Okay, you shouldn't.
Yeah. All right. And we became friends. And he had this fantastic story that he was a druid. Okay, like a real life druid. Okay, and and he knew all this stuff. He had like this medallion, and he really knew stuff. And I was like, at first, I never really believed anybody at first. And I started to like research stuff that he was telling me about. So the stuff that he was telling me about is historical and legit. Like I was like surprised. Like this guy really knows his stuff. Okay. So I hung out with this guy like for a long time, and then in the end, right, he confesses to me that he felt really bad, but he lied about being a druid. He wasn't really a druid. Okay? And I asked him, I was like, yeah, man, I'm cool with that. Like, don't worry. Like, I was just like, why did you feel you had to do that? And he goes, I don't know. I don't feel like I had anything interesting about myself.
Yeah.
It's like people wouldn't like me. He's a kid straight from Turkey. You know what I mean? Like, his father was like a rich, like a rich dude, and he's like this kind of squirrely looking guy. Yeah. And it was just a funny experience. But I learned, I learned way too much about the Druids from this kid. Like, okay? And then I learned more about the Druids from Yair Davidi. He's only one guy that knows more about the Druids than this guy from Turkey is Yair Davidi. Because Yair Davidi sees parallels between the Druidic priesthood, right? And the priesthoods of the northern tribes of Israel after they became pagan.
Yeah.
Okay? And the Druids, they worship a god named Bel. That's really different than Baal, right?
Yeah, completely. Doesn't sound at all alike.
Nothing to do with one another whatsoever. So there's this guy that I wanted to talk to. I was looking for. His name is Robert W. Sullivan. Okay, he's a Freemason. He's a philosopher. He's a lawyer. And I saw him on these videos on YouTube, which I cannot find anymore. Okay, directly. Like, so he was talking about symbolism, esoteric imagery in film, and I just found a video clip that looks like it was taken from YouTube, but it's not on YouTube. Can I see if I can play it? It's like 8 minutes long.
Yes, play that. Play that song, Sam.
If it sucks, we're not going to listen to the whole 8 minutes. I'm not going to force you to.
Yeah.
But if it's good, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's. Oh, come on, man. Here we go.
Come on, man.
Oh, actually, the link actually takes you to the YouTube. It's still on YouTube. You just can't find it through the search. That's interesting. I think Rabbi Anava was talking about that. How a lot of his videos, you can't find them through the search.
Yeah, you can't.
You need to know
you gotta
the
go,
URL.
You have to register on his. It's free, but you have to register on his website. It's a whole thing.
No, he was saying that people that it wasn't him. It was YouTube that removed some of his videos from search from coming up when they're being searched.
Yeah.
Like they're there, but nobody can find them through the search engine.
Yeah.
All right, so hold on. So this guy, pretty amazing. Hold on. So let's go Hollywood, creepy little book Hollywood. Okay, hold on. 1 second. An interview with Robert W. Sullivan, the 4th, part 1. Okay.
Welcome to the Creepy Little Book. Here we are in beautiful Baltimore, Maryland, at the historic Senators Theater with Rob W. Sullivan, the 4th.
Can you hear that well?
Yes.
Okay.
author of the Royal Arch of Enoch, and his new book, Cinema Symbolism, a book that features all...
Okay, so this must be a new book, because I bought his old book, which is still, it's not an old book, it's like probably 7 years old. It's called The Royal Arch of Enoch. I have that on Kindle.
Yeah.
Now he came up with a book called Cinema Symbolism.
Yeah.
I'm getting this book during the interview, while you're playing this. I'm just trying to find right now.
Interesting occult symbolism. It's laced through in some of the most popular and beloved movies of all time. So now, Rob, a lot of these jerk-offs out here, they're doing these, they get on the internet, they talk about Illuminati symbolism in the movies and all that crap. But you're coming at it from a different perspective, right?
Well, right. I mean, my take on this is, these symbols are intentionally placed there. I'm absolutely 100 convinced of that. But I don't take the really approach that this is satanic mind control or anything like that. I guess it's one way of looking at it. I certainly don't disparage that in the book. But to me, these symbols and this arcana and this mysticism and this mythology is really being placed in these movies to transform basically a piece of celluloid into a piece of mythology. This is no different than incorporating astrological or astral architecture into a building. If you read the works of Vitruvius, John Dee, I don't want to bore your art, these ancient names, Palladio.
We're all about ancient names around here.
Andre Palladio, people like that, they'll tell you, even Giordano Bruno will tell you that, incorporating the heavens into your building turns the structure into a forever memory temple. So to me,
incorporating the sacred geometry turns your structure into a, what did he say? A sacred memory temple. See, remember we were talking about sacred geometry and how these guys would always build their structures in alignment with them and the stars and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
That's exactly, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Yes.
Incorporation of these symbols and this arcana and this esoterica into movies is really transforming the film into mythology.
And I'll tell you, I'm glad you cleared that up for me, because a lot of times I assume that people will take these movies and kind of interpret what they want to believe. So they start out with the answer and they add up A and B to get to the...
Well, that's somewhat true. Well, that's somewhat true. And no, go ahead.
Well, as you pointed out, these symbols are intentionally placed by these movies. So these people behind the production of these films were involved in esoteric in some way. Now, a great example would be, let's say, Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Now, I've always thought that was a kind of allegory for the battle between the gold and silver standard that was going on in America at the time.
Right.
But it's deeper than that.
Right. Well, that's absolutely true. In The Wizard of Oz, the guy who wrote the book was a man named L. Frank Baum. And Baum incorporated a lot of political allegories going on at the turn of the last century, at the turn of the 19th century. We have the Wizard as President William McKinley, the 25th president. You're right. The Emerald City is the paper money. The gold standard is, the yellow brick road is the gold standard that leads to paper money.
And in the book, there aren't ruby shoes, right? We're talking silver shoes.
That's right. And in the book, it's silver slippers, not ruby. And again, this represents the free silver movement, and you're absolutely correct. So you have this entire political allegory going on in The Wizard of Oz. And this is something I really get into in the book. But you're also correct. Baum was a member of Madame Blavatsky's Theosophy Society. And as such...
Did you hear that? Madame Blavatsky. This is it's getting very, very close to the Toolies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Theosophy, the Toolies, all of this is connected.
His wife was both involved with this, and just to make a long story incredibly short, the Theosophy movement was basically neo-Gnosticism, for lack of a better word. And you're right, he incorporates into the story.
By the way, he said neo-Gnosticism, not neo-Nazism. I just wasn't sure how that came through.
Gnosticism, yeah.
Okay.
It's really Gnostic ascension, awakening, the divine spark, epiphany, where Dorothy Gale was taken on this magical journey to have this epiphany that there's no place like home.
By the way, Gnostics think that that the God of the Bible is the real devil, and that the snake in the story is God.
Yeah.
Just as a little fun fact.
She's on the false path of religion, the golden path, which leads to the demiurge, the false messiah, which is the wizard who's
the man behind the curtain.
The little man behind the curtain.
That's right.
And of course, Blavatsky wrote that in order to be the sublime initiate, you need wisdom, courage, and fortitude. Hence, Dorothy is assisted by 3 sojourners.
Your tin man, your lions.
The lions, right. That's very esoteric. And then, of course, the 2 witches who assist her in the book, are the East and West, are the North and South, symbolizing ascension on the ladder of Minerva, Jacob's ladder, wisdom. The two women who oppose her are the East and West. They're the black magicians. They, of course, symbolize stagnation because you can't achieve ascension by moving left and right.
And that kind of makes me think, when a lot of pagan ceremonies take place, they call on the four corners, to get down, and they do the calling to the four corners, they call in these four spirits, and that's kind of similar to that.
Well, that's absolutely right. You actually see that in the movie where, if you're, in the Mysteries of Pythagoras, his symbol was the pentagram, and of course his was the 1 point up and the 2 points down. The 1 point up symbolized this mystical, ethereal element that symbolized mastery of the other four elements: earth, air, fire, water. And of course, in Wizard, the good witch's wand is tipped with the pentagram with the 1 point up and 2 points down, symbolizing her as the light magician, where the evil women are dressed in black and are, the left-hand path Kabbalists.
It's always the bad guy dressed in black. Always the bad guy dressed in black. Like Darth Vader. Another great movie that you cover in this book, Star Wars.
Oh, absolutely. Star Wars.
That's got to be overloaded with occult symbols.
Oh, absolutely. Lucas has mentioned in numerous interviews that he based the first three Star Wars. I'm not talking 1, 2, and 3, although I talk about them as well. Well, with the first three, 4, 5, and 6, and Lucas has talked about this before, is you have the Joseph Campbell monomyth going on. And Campbell was a very famous American mythologist. What he talks about is the sort of solar journey of the solar hero. And on this solar journey, he encounters certain things. Things happen to him. He has to react a certain way. And of course, this is what the first three Star Wars movies is. You have elements like supernatural aid. And for Luke Skywalker, whose name means literally the light walking across the sky, the sun, who has assisted by his lunar sister Diana, Princess Leia, who wears the white robes of the moon. And it's battling the Seth or Sith lords, who wear the black, the Egyptian god Seth, right there. So you have this entire solar journey going on. Supernatural aid is one of the components Campbell talks about, and this would be where Skywalker gets the aid from the Hermes Trismegistus-like character Obi-Wan Kenobi, the lightsaber. You have Belly of the Whale. This is where the hero and the heroine have to fight themselves out of a cloistered situation.
This is very intricate. What is the point of this?
What did you say?
I said, what is the end goal of this situation?
The end goal of this. Can you hear what he's saying?
Yeah, I hear what he's saying.
He's saying that the movies that are being released by Hollywood are retellings, and not even very veiled.
Yeah.
If you know the story of the mystery schools, like the Egyptian priesthood.
Yeah.
He was talking about Seth.
Yeah.
Right? He was talking about Hermes Trismegistus, otherwise known as the Egyptian god Thoth.
Yeah.
He's talking about Isis. He's talking about Horus, Osiris.
Yeah.
Okay? These are dude, this is the Erev Rav.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay? So this guy, this scholar, Robert W. Sullivan, is the jackpot.
Uh-huh. Nice.
Okay, so I bought his books. There's 3 books: Cinema, Symbolism, right? They come so far. It's part 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to read it, and we're going to discuss movies, because a lot of the movies that we love and talk about, that we feel are infused, right, with something, right, that it feels different, right? I think we're getting closer to understanding more as to why. Not a general idea like we had before, or kind of like a feeling, or maybe a thought, generally speaking, but more detail as to what it could possibly be. Now, it's not going to be clear, and it's not going to be, and we still have to work through the weeds. There's probably going to be a lot of weeds, but I think we're being led down to this because we talk about these things by default. It's organic. Like, we keep coming back to it, right? You might as well look into it, like, in a serious way.
Yeah.
That was the point of this. All right, Mr. Spike Lee.
That's right.
All right. Make me listen to Spike Lee for 5 hours. I try to get you to listen for 6 minutes.
I just want you to hear how privileged he is. How entitled, not privileged. How entitled he is.
You wanted to torture me because you know how much it hurts me and pains me to listen.
It's
Spike Lee talk.
It's like the reenactment of the Vietnam with the little alien. It's Sex and the City.
It's 700 pages. I have this. The first screenplay at 700 pages long.
Dude, you're doing a great impression of Roger, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play that again.
700 pages. It's 700 pages.
I was never like a regular watcher of that show. I just like I like the voice.
I actually love that show.
It's a good show.
Roger and Stan, Vietnam. Oh. There we go. All right.
It's probably the funniest cartoon character in recent memory. This Roger guy.
I would agree. All right, here we go.
The hell?
Roger, let me go. You give me code now.
He wants the pay-per-view code. This is the pay-per-view code.
Now, hold it now. Yeah. Nice guy, huh? Roger, stop. I'm never going to give you that pay-per-view code. Please see. This is Michael Patrick King's first draft of the Sex and the City movie. It's 700 pages. You guys know that young firefighter I did last night? Well, his hose spattered all over my European mosaic floor, and I slipped in it. But it's okay, girls, because I landed square on the rabbit and found out what's up down. Carrie, B.O. Samantha's story made me wonder, if I slipped, would Big be there to catch me?
Oh my god. Dude, can I play you another scene?
Let's play a few more and then we'll call it a evening. So we're at the 3 hour and 5 minute mark.
Oh god.
Oh,
You
God.
and your marks.
You and your CIA rules.
Yeah. What is this? Nazi Germany
Do you know-
and Iran?
Do you know that when it's more than 200 megabytes, it creates a pain in the ass for my computer?
Now I'm starting to understand the core of all this.
Yes.
Okay.
It takes too much
just
time.
Some background. Just some background. So you know,
Okay.
there's also a fish which they call Klaus, by the way.
Yes, I know. He's a German fish.
Klaus
He's a Nazi.
fish.
He's a Nazi fish.
Well, I don't think he was technically a Nazi. I think he was a German agent, right? That when they caught the CIA, they did an experiment on him where they transferred his consciousness to a fish.
Yes.
And his body is still in the locker.
It makes you wonder about that the Nazis never died. Is it like a hint that they are just fish? Not just
Hold on.
fish, but they're everywhere. You know.
Right.
It's like
so basically Klaus is usually kind of like
Klaus Schwab, the fish.
Klaus
How
the
about that?
fish. He's not treated well in this family generally. He's dismissed. Right. Okay. And hold on a second. Hold on. Klaus Revenge. Hold on. Klaus Revenge. Revenge. Yeah. Klaus Revenge Beach. This is awesome. That is. All right. So here's what they're doing. He's like kind of just chilling in his fishbowl, right, sleeping. All of a sudden, he finds himself sliding down this water slide. He doesn't know what's going on. He's screaming, ah! And then, it was the alien, Roger, and the kid who played a joke on him, and they put him inside. Okay, so now you understand the context. Here we go.
Grammarly does more than
It's a damn commercial.
With Grammarly.
Okay, here we go.
Allow me to impress upon you the severe mistake you have made. For years, my conduct has been largely benign, and yet, without provocation, you have severed our détente and forced me to unleash upon you the vengeful flames of 1,000 suns. You shall curse your mothers for the day of your birth. So go now, go, and begin your life of fear, knowing that when you least expect it, the looming sword of Damocles will crash down upon you, cleaving you in twain. And as you gaze upon the smoking wreckage that was once your life, you...
Dude, do you keep saying stuff?
Am I what?
It feels like you keep saying stuff.
No, I said good stuff. I'm listening to this.
Oh, okay, no, because I'm worried.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you're here. I thought you were screaming. I can't hear it. I can't hear it.
I'm like.
All right, now okay. So I have to rewind now a tiny bit.
I'm sorry.
Go back 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Smoking wreckage that was once your life, you will regret the day you crossed the wrong face. He didn't think it was funny.
Right.
And then the rest of the episode, right? Klaus is just hanging out, and they're terrified. They found like they're hiding in the attic in some compartment, you know.
Yeah.
And they haven't eaten, you know, and they're scared to leave. They don't want to even go to the bathroom. They have like pee like bottles and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like, I thought that was badass. I shouldn't say that anymore because girls they've what have they done? They've appropriated that term, and it makes it not interesting to say anymore.
Watch this.
All right, hold on. So let's see. Okay. What
can we say?
One more thing, but it's kind of... you know what? I'll save it for next time.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
Okay, fine. This is, you know, like this show was interesting about it is that like every now and then it played like this incredible music that I'd never heard like anywhere else.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's a band called My Morning Jacket.
The heck?
Which most people, you know, like if you look at the YouTube comments, they discovered it only because of this show, but it's actually like an incredible band, right?
Yeah.
And My Morning Jacket, yeah.
Interesting.
And and then there's what's that guy CeeLo, right? The greatest CeeLo song is called Hot Tub of Love.
So weird.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna play it. It's really good. Hold on. Hold on. Hot tub. It's crazy. Okay, hold on.
It's just odd.
I go back to the song every now and then just because it's funny, but it's such a okay. Hold on. Of love. Okay. All right, here we go. American Dad, Hot Tub of Love. All right, there we go. Nope, that's a commercial. Hang on.
And I got you got me now.
Okay, for the folks at home, they're just settling in to a relaxing hot tub. Okay, relaxing. And it is a dirty song, but all right. Listen to this.
Hit the jets, watch us blast. Oh, there's something going on beneath the water. People getting hot and making sons and daughters. It's the sweet energy.
What the hell is this? What am I listening to? What is this? What are we listening to? What the hell? What the hell? Just weird. Just strange.
Comparing me over Germany.
We're going all the
way. Hell?
It's not a rose. We can take it slow.
Very strange.
Very strange. It's just you and me.
The sound is quite poor.
The ending is awesome. Hold on.
I can just barely hear it. That's the problem. I barely hear it, man. I literally barely hear it. I barely hear it.
Oh, okay, so
It sounds like it's being played out of a dumb phone and some guy in Mir Yeshiva.
Damn it, Dad. So my worst fear is confirmed. All right. All right, so you play it.
Why? What's wrong? Are you playing from your computer? Like, what is this?
Yeah, from my computer.
It sounds like it's just playing from a potato.
I don't know, like, to me, it seems so much louder than that interview. And the interview, you heard perfectly.
CeeLo. Hold on.
No, just write American Dad, Hot Tub of Love. So the whole thing was really low? You didn't hear any of that?
It was very muffled and quite low.
Damn it.
Why is it like this? Here.
Don't. All right.
Oh, there's an ad. Stupid.
We may have a lot of technical difficulties on this show.
Oh, yeah.
The hell?
Just listen.
You can hear it clear?
I can hear it.
Hit the jets and watch us blast. Oh, there's something going on beneath the water. People getting hot and making sons and daughters. It's just you and me and L-U-B and the T-U-B. Bubbles in the tub, bubbles in the glass. Figure in your mouth and my finger in your ass.
It's really disgusting.
Yeah. We are above Egypt. Come on, Mississippi.
To bury me over Germany.
We're going all the way, 'cause it's not a race. We can take it slow into outer space. It's just you and me.
3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
So weird. Like flying in a space shuttle.
Yeah, I know.
God. Stupid.
Hold on.
Give me the address to the ocean. I'm about to write a letter.
Actress to the
You may be the ocean, but I'm hotter and wetter.
Hey, Dad! Hey! Hello! You didn't pick me up!
What the
I
hell?
sat outside school like an idiot for over 4 hours. Then I walked home like an animal. Do you even care? I mean, did you even pick Roger up from soccer practice?
He's crying. He's just sitting there. Poor Roger.
In this episode, he was playing a young boy who. No, but you know what really made me think about this? It was Spike Lee, because I knew how this song ends, right?
Yeah.
And that kid sounded like Spike Lee. He goes, you didn't pick me up. I had to walk home like an animal.
Yeah. I had to enter like the rest of the heathens. I had to enter this stadium like the rest of these horrible people.
Dude, and I thought the song though, not really the lyrics, but just like the actual you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like was good, man. It's like
production was very good.
Shocked me how good it was.
The production was quite good. Yeah.
So and then I'm not gonna make us watch this unless you want to, but probably the funniest clip ever is when Klaus, right? He
can't get over his name is Klaus.
Yeah, I know, right? He tells him that story. He tells him the story of because before he was turned into a fish, he was like a German playboy. Like he had a Ferrari.
Yeah.
He would he had a very active life. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He was a stud. So he was meeting. He's he saw Roger and the boy play with toy cars. And he goes, yes, that's all you will have, toy cars only, because that's all you would just play with little cars. But I used to have a Ferrari, and I would get laid, but you will always have little cars to play with, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then, so they get so mad, and he's like, I'm going to Vegas to meet up with my friend Freddie, right? We're probably going to have a really good time, He's like being a real jerk to them. So they got so mad that they want revenge. So they're going to go to Vegas, and they're going to make sure that they see him in a Ferrari. That he's going to see them in a Ferrari, right? So this is one scene where they're driving by, and you know that song, you know that rapper Soulja Boy,
Yes.
right? So they play this song as he, dude. You know what? Just play it. Just find. Okay, let me find it. It's a very short.
What is it? What is it called?
Hold on. Just type in American Dad Soulja Boy. It's probably like the best thing in this whole cartoon.
American Dad Ferrari, 41 seconds.
Hold on.
I got back to the room at like 6. The sun was definitely up. I seriously can't go to strip clubs when I drink, you guys.
That was
Roger.
awesome, right?
Yeah, the hell?
How awesome was that scene, right? It's like, so basically for the folks at home, so Roger the alien and Steve the boy,
Yeah.
they're driving by, and they look like like rappers. They got the hairstyle, they got the glasses, everything. You know what I mean? And like Roger's sitting in the passenger seat in the front, and as they're driving by, like Steve, who's driving the car, he has like this cold look on his face, right? But Roger, he turns around, he lowers his sunglasses, and he makes eye contact with Klaus the fish, right? As they're driving by, and he keeps turning his head to make that eye contact to make sure that it's understood what he's seeing, right? And then the car just drives away into the distance. That's an incredible scene, incredible, so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do we might have to do a bit of editing before you release this show.
Yes. We might.
I think we might have to. Usually we don't edit at all.
No, I think this is okay. I think it's fine. You don't need to edit anything.
No, I mean there's a couple of weak points in this episode that I mean seriously, you might want to take a look at.
Yeah. I'll take a look at it.
If you want, you could send it to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I'll kind of like I'll review it and I'll give you my suggestions as to what maybe could be removed. Like the times, so that makes it easier for you. You don't have to look for it.
Yeah. All right, sir. Sounds like a plan.
All right then. Cool. Send it to me as soon as possible.
All right, sir. We shall reconvene probably next week. Without the show.
Yep. I'll try to have some material prepared from those books I just bought.
This was 67, maybe 66. I'm sorry, and maybe next week will be 67. We can talk about 1967 and the portal that opened up in the year 1967.
I think that's a great idea.
Yes,
sir.
I'm gonna play this very specific video that I want to play for you. Like it's a short clip, but then we can talk about it.
You mean in episode 67?
Yes, it's from Rabbi Yom Tov Glazer, what he said about 1967. And we'll we'll talk about it. B'ezrat Hashem.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Amen.
If I don't talk to you, I mean, I probably will, B'ezrat Hashem, but for the folks at home, good Shabbos. And good Shabbos.
Have a good Shabbos, everyone.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Peace.